FM at HD Boston. 98.5 The Sports Hub. A Beasley Media Group station. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins had last night off, but they did make some news late yesterday evening. They had announced that they have signed first-round draft pick James Higgins to an amateur tryout agreement to play in Providence. This is different than an entry-level contract, which is still eligible to sign in the future. Without Higgins, the Bruins entertain Toronto tonight. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots yesterday released backup quarterback Josh Dobbs, which would seem to promote Tommy DeVito to that job. Also, the team has signed Giants free agent backup tackle James Hudson. The Red Sox played their final preseason home game yesterday. They lost to Minnesota 9-6. Johan Oviedo allowed 6 runs in 3 1/3 innings, and most of what is expected to be the starting lineup was in the field behind him. The Sox visit the Twins today, and then they'll fly to Cincinnati for the regular season opener on Thursday. The team also yesterday sent catchers Mickey Gasper and Matt Tyson, utility man Nate Eaton to Worcester, and lefty Connolly Early has reportedly made the team. And the Chicago Cubs and all-star center fielder Pete Crow Armstrong have reportedly come to terms on a contract extension. According to USA Today, it's for at least 6 years and $125 million. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by DN Van Lines. Take the chance out of your move and make the sure bet with DN Van Lines, an approved mover of the Department of Defense. DNVanlines.com. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 6:30.
The Sports Hub. 3 legendary franchises on one legendary radio station. It's the Sports Hub.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
Toucher
You might hate me, but you're listening.
and Hardy
Don't bother me. I'm at the Pickle Palace.
on 98.5.
I know what I'm capable of.
He said something about peanut butter, right?
Yeah. Boning, baby. Make America nut again.
That's gross. That's disgusting.
Let's talk about cheese.
What are you going to have for lunch?
I was at dinner with my wife and a friend.
Kitty, kitty, pussy, kitty, kitty, kitty. Flap, flap, flap.
Shut up, I'm trying to talk to Paul.
Toucher and Hardy
Good luck trying to put your finger in it when there's a million holes.
on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Let's go.
It's all good. We've been in the arena before.
That's right. Lambo. It is Toucher and Hardy here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Good morning. Once again without Fred today. And today, Andrew Callahan joins us here.
now, Lombo.
Yeah. How you doing, Andrew?
This is the most fun I have all week. When you just do the 1 hour, 2 stats in a line during football season. So to get 4 hours, this is the best part of my offseason so far. Until the A.J. Brown trade, I will say.
Is it too much of a good thing, though? I mean, well, you've done plenty of 4-hour fill-ins before.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, after the second hour, though, you're like, wow, this is a long.
I got to pace
show.
myself.
You know what? That's what I heard was like, hey, just be prepared for like 8:40 because you're going to be looking at the clock like you did at the end of a test in school where every time you looked, it was going slower and slower and slower.
Mm-hmm.
That hasn't happened yet. Maybe it does today, but this is probably fill-in number, 12, 14 for me.
See, I'll take that as a compliment. I would take that as a massive compliment.
I would say this show, and maybe it's because the sun is coming up and the day is actually changing while you're doing it. The midday show, I felt at times could, really drag. And
Why is that, Hardy?
No, nothing. It has nothing to do with who I was working with.
Oh, all right.
No.
Well, we weren't even thinking that. The fact your mind went there. Oh.
John wanted me to talk smack about somebody. That's not it at all. I think it really has to do with the time of day. It's like if you go to work at 10 o'clock in the morning and you're there until whatever time, it's like for a long time, nothing really changes. It's the same vibe. It's the same mood. It's the middle of the day for hours and hours. Here, the day is just starting. It's like the first hour. It's like you get the sense that, you along with, if you're listening, we're all kind of like starting the day together. I know some people I know there's a chance you're finishing your day right now, or you've been up for 4 hours already, but still there's a sense that it's starting. And then you get to the middle of the show. And once you get to that, that 8:40 mark, you're like, well, it's almost over. Another hour here, and you can do it. There were times, though, And Beetle and Zoe, anybody who's worked McCone, they will all attest to this. You're doing the midday show, and you feel like, wow, we kind of did a lot already. You look at the clock, and it's 10:40. Like, oh, boy. It really hasn't even started yet, and you're feeling like you've already done plenty.
Where does lunch fit into there? Because I think for some people, you'd get a second wind post-lunch. Other times it would depend. You're bringing Chinese. It might just sink you further into your seat.
Well, it depends on who you're talking to.
So for you?
When I was doing middays?
Yeah. How big was lunch? Were you looking not at 2 o'clock on like a day where you were really stretching things thin? Were you looking at 12? Like you would run a marathon. You're like, I need to get to 13 first. And then I'll get, maybe not a second win, but I've got less than halfway to go.
I'm not.
And lunch was your reprieve.
I'm not trying to become or be anything that I'm not. A, I honestly don't remember. And B, I don't think there was like anything that I had fallen into a routine with. Like every day I would eat lunch at 11:30 or anything like that. Now, if you're Zoe, you eat, on the way in. Then you lay out a sub, for like first thing at 10. And then you're going downstairs to see what they have in the cafeteria. I don't know anybody who more consistently eats like the meal of the day in the cafeteria downstairs than Zoe. And it doesn't matter what it is. It could be, the rigatoni. It could be ribs. It could be whatever they're making. He's eating it. Oh, all right. Fettuccine Alfredo. Okay.
Got a carbo load for the second half of the show.
Exactly.
It's a marathon.
I think. Yeah, I didn't get it. It's tough, though, because if you wait until you get off the air at 2 o'clock and you eat then you've screwed up dinner.
Yeah.
Well, and you're probably hangry 1:30 to 2. Wait, so you don't remember any of that? Do you remember the worst lunch you ever had brought in? Because like days like that.
Oh, where they're bringing in lunches?
Well, and not complaining about free food. That is one of the worst media habits we have, or airplane tweeting, which I know you guys have gone over and gone in on Bert for. But, like this food was brought in and change the show as if it was a person coming to crash and tank the show. But instead it was
I'll tell you
meal.
what it was.
Okay, good.
It was a charcuterie board that was brought in.
Who brings
and I don't know if it was Beetle. It may have still been Gresh. So imagine.
Was it laid out nicely? Was the presentation there?
Imagine Rhino number 1 and Rhino number 2.
Right.
Gresh and Zoe, right?
Right.
And it's like, it's like, oh, you guys are getting lunch today. Great. And then they bring in, and it's this delicate, I don't even know how to say the word, charcuterie?
Charcuterie.
Yeah, you got it.
With, just the finest small selection of meats and cheeses, and small.
Yeah.
Like maybe the size of like a small pizza paddle. And just laid out like 3 selections of prosciutto. And here's a cup, a few slices of a very nice cheese.
Yeah.
And 4 different types of crackers, one of each,
Mm-hmm.
And then what is this? Whoa! Ah! And I just remember the yelling down the hallway. Like that, yeah, that ruined the show that day. But you never really count on that either. Some days you do if you know who it is. Like, oh, so-and-so's bringing lunch today. Like, all right, it's going to be a good day.
So I would use that for your own entertainment. Just tell the midday show, hey, I got lunch today. And you just spice it up and you just bring in the same amount of charcuterie. And Beetle is not Gresh, but you just understand there's a little bit too much. There's too little here.
Might even be more bitching.
You've got 2 hyenas going over the same carcass that's left over that's already been picked over by the lions. And you know exactly where it's going, so you just get to kick your feet up.
Yeah.
Right over there with the producers and just watch.
That would be an amazing prank. Just to say like, hey guys, miss you.
Yeah.
I got lunch for you today.
Like it's too small in volume, but the type of food says I put money into this that shows that I care.
Right. Don't eat. Don't spoil it because I'm having an amazing lunch delivery. Let me tell you who would get the biggest kick out of it. T-Bone.
Oh God.
Because
he's quiet, but he's an assassin.
Well, and
the kid is amazing.
And for as much mass as he has, I've seen him eat maybe 3 times in my life.
Huh.
I had dinner with him. Those don't count. But in all those years of doing the show, I only saw him consume food a couple of times. And his one weakness, Bertucci's rolls. That's the one thing, and he would have like one. But he not only does not eat during the show, he looks upon those who do with disdain. Like, look at you, you pig, you slob. He just can't stand to see anyone else eat. He doesn't eat.
So how does he produce Zoe? That's like having a tack in your shoe and willingly putting those shoes on every day.
Oh, he wants to kill himself. He's not.
Poor T-Bone.
Yeah, he's just you'll see T-Bone either here or at the gym or wandering the aisles of Home Depot looking at ropes. Just
You know what, you say that and like the opposite, or it's not the opposite, but in the way that you've seen him eat 3 times, the way that I've been here, I'll say dozens of times leading up to the midday show. Instead of seeing him eat, I've spoken to him maybe 3 times.
T-Bone?
Yeah, and the longest conversation we might have had was not here, wasn't even in state. It was at the Super Bowl last month. Just passed on the street. It's like Monday, going to Radio Row, getting my credential. You guys have the setup there. Oh, how's it going? How was the flight? Where are you staying? This and that. We had a nice gym at our hotel, so I said, I don't remember if they were staying at the same place Doug and I were, but I said, look, you literally we have an extra key card if you want to go in. Like there's, cables and you got free weights and you got all these machines. And it was a really nice 5-6 minutes on the sidewalk in San Francisco. Yeah. But other than that, hi, how are you? And look, he's got work to do. I'm done with the day when I'm in here and out by 10. So there's not a lot of room to chat, but I don't know. There's more meat on that T-bone.
I feel
like.
Very good. Very good. The described by one Brad Marchand as a man rocket. I still don't know what it means. It's a compliment. It's a high compliment.
I think so.
That's like a bad name for an erection.
I think it's a great name.
You think it's a good name?
Yeah. Man rocket?
Like your man rocket's showing?
I don't know, but it's
sporting
no,
a man
that's
rocket?
not how you say. I would imagine it has some place in porn somewhere. I would imagine.
But he looked at T-Bone when he was doing it. He was like, "Oh, look at you, you're a man rocket." Like, what a specimen you are. And I mentioned Planet Fitness yesterday for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Hates it.
No, I think that's where T-Bone works out. He should be the poster child for that place.
So I will tell you,
you could look like this.
Yeah.
Planet Fitness.
Some of the largest people I've ever seen in my life as someone who works in professional locker rooms is at a Planet Fitness I used to go to in JP because it was like the one that was open during COVID. I drive 20 minutes. It was my hour in there a day, double max, but they're open. This is like the best part of my day. And their deal is, they've got more machines than you don't have any barbells, basically. Like you're not going there to squat.
There's no free weights.
Yeah, you got free weights.
No, there are.
Dumbbells that go up to like 100, and you can do a lot with that. But there's no barbells. You're not squatting. You're not benching, in your traditional way.
What do you do with a 100-pound dumbbell?
I asked T-Bone. He probably knows. You could certainly row with it.
No. Yeah, you give it a pair of headphones. You say, cut some sound, Beaton. 100-pound dumbbell. See, because you're small. You're just a little waifish thing. All right.
There's a little extra there if he's a dumbbell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're going after the intelligence. And
was that a dad joke? That was close.
That's all right.
That was pretty close.
I'm not going to help here now that she's 5 months old.
Stay away from that.
No, it's too late.
No,
it's like a part of my soul has been unlocked that I can say these things down. You're like, he's a dad. We got to let him have it.
You're going to get to, oh my God, I'm kind of jealous. You're going to get to do all the dad joke knock jokes that it's like the first level of understanding of like critical thinking, like 3 and 4 year olds when you give them the, knock.
Who's there?
Boo.
Boo who?
Why are you crying? And they're like, what? And then it's comedy, and you can pull out all those dad.
You know what I want to do that though is not 3 or 4, but 13, 14 at drop off at high school, and like we've got a friend in the back seat.
Oh, that's the best.
Wait! I promise this is a new one. Knock. And you're like, I'm not opening the door until you answer. And the more friends are like, oh, there's their car.
Yeah.
Open it up. Who's there? Boo! Boo hoo. Why are you crying? Have a great day in school.
Yeah.
My wife still lives to embarrass our daughter. I mean, she's really good at it. I'd chicken out at the last moment. Although when she was home for break last week, a couple of her friends came by to pick her up, and they didn't, they don't come up to the door. They're all communicating via phone. They know when they're there. They're tracking each other, so they know how close they are. These girls didn't even pull in the driveway. I said, well, this is unacceptable. I said, Katie, your little friends are here. I'm going to go out and talk to them. No! And I went out, and it's like these are 19-year-old women, right? These are not like kids anymore that necessarily can be or want to be messed with.
How long is your driveway? And there's a reason I'm asking.
It was, I don't know, maybe the 50, 60-foot walk to get from the
My
front door
point
to the
is,
street.
it's a long thing. They see you coming.
Well,
and they know that they're going to have to deal with you.
It's like the manager walking out from the dugout, but it's Grady Little at the end, just so slow.
Exactly right. Taking your time,
I don't want to hear
hands
this.
in his pockets.
He's not pulling me out, but he's going to stay here for a certain amount of time.
It's the anticipation that's the great part of this story.
Well,
go ahead.
But they don't see me because, of course, their noses are buried in their phone. Probably texting Katie. It's like, are you almost ready? Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'm going out to talk to her. No!
Yeah.
Boom. Door shuts. Dog runs out. Where are we going? What are we doing? I'm like, we're going to go out here.
Get him, boy.
I'm walking across the yard, and whoever's riding shotgun, like, sees me, like, uh-oh. What's this time bomb need? Yeah. And lowers the window, like, halfway.
Look at a limo.
Like, who's in there? Is that Maggie? Which one are you? I can't even remember. Y'all look the same. What's going on? Is that Hannah? Who is it? What's going on?
You're doing like a Grandpa Simpson routine.
Hey, what smells like mustard?
Is that you, Maggie?
Yeah.
Is that what the M stands for? Anyway, Katie, love you.
What are you guys getting up to tonight?
Oh, knock, knock.
Katie, like literally like side checks me walking past me to the car. All right, have fun. Bye, girls.
I'll be here when you get back.
Right, I'll wait up. But
too good.
No, my wife will. I mean, just.
I'm curious about that.
She's fearless.
Well, give me an example. Give me an example of a good one. I mean, you're extolling her virtues as a pain in the butt. I'm just wondering if you have one in mind that you're particularly proud of.
I think she yelled up to the room after maybe it wasn't the first time we dropped her off at school. I think it was another trip that we made there. And my daughter's dorm room is on the second floor, I think, but it looks like it's low enough to where you can yell up to the window. And we'd stopped by, and she yelled up to Katie if she had enough of a certain feminine hygiene product.
Oh,
just stuff like that.
That's good.
Just little things, but they're sprinkled throughout the day. They're so often, and they happen routinely to where. It's not like the power of one in particular. It's just the consistency with which she embarrasses her.
She's like a 3:30 single sitter. Just keeps coming.
Yes, exactly.
Is your wife a ball buster? It sounds like it.
Only with the kids. She really loves to torment the children.
I find that hard to believe that she doesn't give as good as she gets from you.
Oh no, she just I get ignored for the most part.
Okay.
I've never seen a person though take more pleasure in someone else's misfortune than she does with mine. Like when something goes poorly for me, if it's a project that I'm working on that fails, if I'm trying to do something and it breaks, I mean, you would think Richard Pryor was reincarnated and standing in our living room as that light fixture falls on top of my head. She absolutely loses urine laughing when something goes poorly for me. She absolutely loves it.
It's a little psychopathy in there.
Oh, yeah. Well, she was a psych major, and that, they're all nuts. Every single one of them. Crazy. Bat-ass crazy. But that's, that you'll get to that point. Right now, you're consumed with your
She's still happy for me.
5-month-old?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about that?
Sleeping?
For the most part. Doesn't like to go down.
Solid foods now.
No.
What?
No.
5 months?
No.
It's time.
Yeah, I'd be worried you're behind.
We got stuff going on. She's good. She's rolling.
Oh, she's all right, though?
Yeah,
okay.
We're good. Chit-chatting. Singing.
Good.
Doing poetry.
No, she's
not. We used to make fun of friends of ours who had kids, and they're like, oh, she said her first word. We go, her first birthday's 2 months from now. No, okay. Oh, that's great. And I'm like, I think that's going to be us.
Yeah.
Because you almost hear it, and you hear so much all day that you start to hallucinate. Like I'll hear her cry at night over the monitor, and she's as still as could be. She didn't make any noise. It's just in my head, which is the lack of sleep also catching up. But no solid foods yet. She's been great.
Have you had any onesie blowouts that are so bad you have to do the surgical removal of the onesie? You know, you have. I used to keep scissors near the changing table, nowhere near where the baby could actually get them. But it happened once. It happened the second time. I said we should just keep scissors nearby because.
Keeping scissors near an infant is a layup. You have to at all times. So it's funny you mentioned that. I feel so bad for the poor bastard who cleans the family restroom on the Framingham rest stop, southbound on the Pike. We were there for...
Use the koala changing station? Nice.
40 minutes.
Oh, man.
4-0. Now, this is to say, like, Callahan, have you ever changed a diaper before? Yes, thank you. But this was a 2-person job. She was overtired, had been screaming. We had come down from the North Shore where my parents live. We're like, she's tired. We'll go change her. We'll go check. It is everywhere. Like, we threw the outfit out. I threw a binky just because I was like, I don't want to watch this. It was on the koala station, and I'm not a germ freak, but like the family restroom at the Framingham rest stop, all due respect, is probably the last place I would want to be if I was a germaphobe. Maybe there's a bit in there for some folks here at the station.
Yeah, so
and then we fed her in the car, and of course some of the milk spills, which is in the back seat of my car. I'm like, okay, great. And then she doesn't go down immediately after the bottle, despite being overtired and changed. I'm like, okay, this is great. But she did go down. We were fine going back to my in-laws who live in Connecticut. It was the cap to a great day where you don't remember the day because of how bad the last hour or two was. So we got home to see my wife's parents. They're like, oh, how was it seeing your folks? Your sister for the first time since you had the baby, yada, yada. I don't even remember. Screaming just echoing in my head.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I've never really thought about that aspect of it, but I can think off the top of my head of 3 or 4 instances where there should have been a great day. And I even remember saying to my wife or someone afterwards, how was it? I said, great until the end, until blank ruined it. You know, and it's like, yeah, and that's another quote I heard someone say, there is no experience so sublime that cannot be ruined by the presence of my son or daughter. Like, and as forget about the terrible 2s, 3. 3 was the bad one for my daughter. Right, Nick? 3-year-olds. No experience so sublime that cannot be ruined by the presence of certain 3-year-olds.
Jersey Turnpike in a massive traffic jam. Spent a great weekend with my in-laws. Now it's a long car ride home. Usually the kids go down. Massive traffic jam on the Jersey Turnpike. No one's going anywhere. We didn't move for about 15 minutes. The kids, 2 infants now in the back seat, screaming their lungs out. There's a rest stop a half a mile up, but we can't get there to pull over and change the diaper. The car is stinking to high hell. There is nothing we could do.
Yeah.
And that is one of those moments where
what happened?
This is hell. If it was thrust upon me, this is what it would be.
What was the rest of the trip like? No idea.
Exactly right.
How was the day at Disney World? 99% of it could have been great, or 90% of it, but it's that hour-long meltdown at the end of it that ruins everything.
You know what's sick is I love hearing stories like that now. Like, everyone's got one. I know that. And they're like, oh, this will happen to you at some point. But when Wallach goes into the detail of the screaming the heads off and you can't get to the rest stop, which is just like, this carrot dangling.
It's right there, and I can't get there to pull over.
I'm like, oh, it's not just me.
No, it's not.
Like, if she could speak and ask, like, I want a pony, the next day she would have had a fleet in her backyard as bad as we felt about that first blowout on the road.
Yeah.
And
2 years old.
She's fine. She doesn't remember anything. She's
2
good.
years old.
She's good.
All right. Well, I don't know that anything of consequence happened last night.
Oh, so something mammoth happened last night.
Maybe we'll just keep talking about cutting feces-filled onesies off of infants and newborns. But unless Wallach will come up with something, we'll do that next here on Toucher and Hardy.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
last night. Here on Toucher and Hardy, Andrew Callahan is with us, and John Wallach says something big happened last night.
Huge, mammoth. Bruins currently right in the middle of a big-time fight for a playoff spot. They held practice yesterday to get ready for a back-to-back. They host Toronto tonight. They're at first place Buffalo tomorrow night. But the big question surrounding practice yesterday was whether or not first-round draft pick James Higgins would show up. He was not at practice yesterday, but the team announced last night he's on his way to Providence. The team announced late last night Higgins had agreed to a professional tryout agreement to play with the team's top minor league affiliate. He will practice with Providence today. Now, at practice yesterday, Marco Sturm said Higgins is a special kid.
It's not normal. I think it's not common to. I feel like that maybe goes back to me a little bit. You kind of grew up with that or not. It's something. There's a lot of things you can't teach, and that's what he has, and that's why he's ahead of some other guys. That's just the way it is, and because you already had it.
Now, some people might worry. Well, I mean, he's not coming to Boston. What does this mean? 9 years ago, Charlie McAvoy took the exact same route. He signed an ATO with Providence coming out of BU. He played 4 games with Providence, was promoted to the big club, and actually played for them in the playoffs that year. So just because Higgins is going to Providence doesn't mean he will stay there, and may even stay there for only a week.
All right, so this is relatively big. Now, there was how much of a chance that he was just going to be called up to the Bruins before heading to Providence?
Well, we had Jim McBride on yesterday. He thought, and a lot of people I read thought the same thing, he's NHL ready right now. Could slot in as the left wing on the third line and go play tonight against Toronto. Apparently, the Bruins thought differently, and somehow they convinced him that this was the right way to go.
It seems to make sense to me, just in terms of, well, a couple of things. Number one, if you haven't quite decided yet whether or not you want to burn that year, the first year of his entry-level contract, or his, what do they call it, the first?
Entry-level contract,
yeah. As ready as they think, Jim McBride and everybody else, and it seems to be across the board, NHL ready to go. Let's take a look at how he plays in Providence. Again, it's the speed of the game that's that increases with each level. So, all right, let's see how he does at the next level of speed. And then number 2, let's give ourselves a couple more games here to see what the rest of the team looks like. See if we actually want to do this with this squad this year with the Bruins.
I think there's got to be a confidence piece in there, too. Like, as much as you see the player in the vacuum, and obviously what he did at BC and has done in Junior Worlds has been outstanding, from the much as I've read and followed recently. Like, the confidence is not just his and his own ability, it's the teammates in him. So when they do put him out on the ice, you'd like to see him not jump in, and if he struggles immediately, there's kind of a cost to that, understanding, do they really want to trust this guy going into the most important games of the season, or is he able to build on something from BC to Providence, even if it's a rest stop, a pit stop for him on the way to Boston before they get there, and those minutes really matter, and you've really got to deliver.
Yeah, obviously, he signs this. It doesn't start the clock on his 3 years. I mean, that's a separate contract he has to sign. But in my mind, the fact that he is going to Providence means that this is, let's ramp it up, and then eventually I'm going to be there. It's not, all right, let's try this, and if it works, if it doesn't work. I think the fact that he is been signed by the Bruins to this means, we think it's going to work. We just want to make sure you get up to speed with the big guys before we promote you. I don't think there's any, okay, you're going to be in Providence the rest of the season. This is kind of like a rest stop on his way to the main destination.
I would think so. And if you go back to what Sweeney said a month or so ago about, how this team has deserved, help before the trade deadline and everything that they did, this would be one way of delivering on that. I think they look at it in the front office and they look at the way the team has played inconsistently at times, and they're thinking, all right, they put together a hell of an effort this season, and at times they've looked really good, but realistically, what do you think they're going to do postseason? Realistically, what do we think this team is going to do in the postseason?
Maybe one play, if they get the right opponent, maybe one playoff win, maybe one round.
And if that's worth, burning a year of Hagen's entry-level deal to get them and help get them through that one round and give them some confidence and some experience going forward, okay, I'm willing to take that. I don't know how big of a deal it is, really, that 1 year and using that up. Presumably for this player, it is a big deal. It's gonna end up being a significant amount of money that you're gonna have to spend on him once this deal is over. Do you really want to use up the first year of having him at a great value on a run that ultimately, if you're looking at it, probably isn't going to amount to something beyond a first-round playoff series?
Well, to that point, according to the ESPN story, and maybe this is elsewhere, but Higgins was most focused when they had discussions over the past 2 days about what would give him the best chance to play a full 84-game season next year. Although he believes, of course, because he's a 19-year-old who's invincible and talented as anyone out there, that he could contribute right away. So the fact that those went 2 days on the outside, somebody doesn't know as well as you do, Walk, certainly. I'm kind of curious about, was there a negotiation here where we look at, for the Red Sox last year, Christian Campbell starts. And then you look at that in retrospect, and obviously he goes down to AAA, and he's not starting with the big league club this year. Seemed clearly that the extension that he signed, Christian Campbell did, might have been contingent on, I'd like to be part of the big league club right away. And whatever he wants here.
I don't think it was that. I think it was more the team. The team has gone out and pushed for long-term contracts for their young players. And for the most part, it's worked. Ceddanne Rafaela, etc., Brian Bayo, they signed this kid to a 6-year contract with the full expectation he would be their starting second baseman, play some outfield, and they made a mistake.
Yeah,
the kid's not ready. I don't think it was Campbell saying, you need to sign me right now. The Red Sox approached him. This is a little different. But
clearly when he got up there, it wasn't ready. You know what I mean? And here's the difference, because that was the start of a season versus the end of one. And frankly, whether, it's hockey or basketball, getting a little extra juice off the bench or hear some depth, that's just scoring. To me, there's nothing better I'd rather have than a kid who can come in and just get a goal.
Right. And I think Higgins could certainly provide that. At least his college skills would seem to promote that. But getting back to what you were saying, Harney, I think now it's the cost of doing business for NHL teams that have a top 10 pick. For example, I think it's the Flyers. The 4th overall pick signed a contract to an entry-level deal.
Yep.
He's going to burn 1 year here. Flyers aren't going anywhere, but it's the cost to do it. You get a kid like this who's that talented that can compete right away. McAvoy was a top 10 pick too, I believe. Same thing. That first year is a given. You're not going to get a lot of that out of that first year. So I think
the first year is really going to be the end.
The first year is 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then the playoffs, if you're lucky enough to get there. I don't think how far this team goes factors into that at all.
Well, I tell you what, just for engagement purposes and my own selfish reasons, I would like to see it happen because you remember the very hurtful conversation that we had with Fred around this time last year. It's like, who would be, listening to the Bruins right now? Who would be watching the Bruins right now?
Yeah.
And I white knighted for Ryan Johnston. I'm like, hey, what do you mean who would be listening to the Bruins right now? Your buddy RJ is calling the games. He's trying to do a good job here. Oh, it got into a whole thing.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
But for me, to really be engaged and wondering beyond the playoff implications. Okay, give me an extra reason to be watching at this point because I don't feel in my gut that this team is making a deep run. So give me, assuming they're going to be in the playoffs, give me another reason to watch. Give me another reason to watch. Let me get a look at this kid because I've not been scouting.
The Bruins have.
I've not been watching a tremendous amount of his college play.
Shame on you.
I know.
The Bruins have 12 games left, and they're right in the middle of it. They're tied with Montreal for third place in the division. They just played them last weekend. They are, 1 point ahead of the New York Islanders for the top wild card. Detroit's 2 points back. I mean, there is a lot to play for here. And they have a free-falling Toronto team tonight, but they're at first place Buffalo tomorrow night. I mean, there are some really interesting games coming up here. And if Higgins kind of gets thrown into that, that's some added juice to it.
All right. Let's continue here. We will step aside for a moment and then find out all the other things that happened last night. Andrew Callahan came in just piping hot about the UConn women. Just rolling last night.
Oh, we'll run that down. You want to run that down?
Well,
we can do that.
James Hudson the third, man.
Okay.
All right.
Swing tackle. Welcome.
We'll get to. Hey, don't spoil it. Let it breathe a little bit. We'll get there.
Let it marinate. There's plenty more happened last night. We'll get.
There's a reason you're here, my friend.
We'll have time to get to all of it. Yes. Don't you worry. Here on Toucher and Hardy. Hold on.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins announced last night they have finally signed Boston College star and first-round draft pick James Higgins, but he's not coming here. He signed an amateur tryout agreement with Providence. He'll begin his pro career there. With the possibility of joining the big club in the future, he will practice with the P Bruins today. Bruins didn't have him at practice yesterday. They won't have him tonight when they host Toronto at TD Garden. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Patriots have released backup quarterback Josh Dobbs and signed Giants free agent tackle James Hudson. Red Sox lost an exhibition game to Minnesota 9-6. They'll play their final preseason game today against Minnesota and then fly to Cincinnati for the regular season opener on Thursday. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by Corona, the official cerveza of Major League Baseball. Join Tyler Milliken and Kendra Middleton for a watch party Thursday for MLB opening day from 4 to 6 p.m. at Game On Fenway on Lansdowne Street in Boston with a chance to score tickets to the home opener. Lines in. Play ball. Must be 21. Relax responsibly. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 The Sports Hub. Your next update at 7 o'clock.
You're listening to Toucher and Hardy. Listen, if you've got to go, we understand, but make sure you bring the Sports Hub app with you so you can hear more of Tudger and Hardy.
That's what I want on my tombstone.
On the Sports Hub.
You know, I'm just going to blame Fred for something quickly here, and then we'll continue with what happened last night. Whether it is something that I've looked up or whether the computers and the phones are actually listening to us, my algorithm has been around Fred now so much to where I am getting fed like very low-level feet fetish accounts. And a woman just popped up on my Instagram feed. It says nothing about feet. I'm scrolling through, and it's the typical, news stuff. There's the basketball, there's the pickleball, there's the golf, and then this woman pops up, and it's just a picture of her on a hammock with her bare feet sticking out toward me, and I click on her profile, saying like, do I know this person? Is this someone I followed? No, it's just Isabel something or other. And every single one of her photos is her in some outfit in some location with bare feet. I said, oh, so this is a foot fetish account that does not proclaim to be a foot fetish account. It's just something that you know to look for and find if, A, you're either into that, or B, gets fed to you if you've spent enough time around Fred Tudger.
Really beautiful feet.
Yeah, who talks about feet fetishes.
I just feel bad for Fred's kids. Can you imagine? Is it all toe rings and anything on their Instagram accounts? Who else spends more time with them?
Yeah, that's true. They're getting fed all that stuff too, just by no fault of their own. Okay, well, that's weird enough. Thank you very much. Just move past. Don't spend any more time on it, because all that means is that, see, now I got another one. Now I got another one being fed to me. That algorithm picks up on it right away.
Here we go.
All right.
Yeah.
You don't sound upset enough. I don't know.
It's not my thing, but I'm not grossed out by it either. Whatever. It's fine. All right, Wallach, what else do you have?
Patriots made a couple of roster moves yesterday, and that includes a decision on the backup quarterback. Josh Dobbs informed he was going to be released. That paves the way for the one and only Tommy DeVito to elevate to Drake May's backup, and the Patriots needed a backup tackle, so they brought in former New York Giant James Hudson on a one-year contract. He spent 5 years in the league, 60 games played, 19 starts, including 2 last season.
Don't look any deeper than those numbers, because they're bad.
Okay.
They're really poor. I know some people look at James Hudson and be like, oh, they got their swing tackle. If he plays the best football of his career, yeah. And Vrabel saw him in person in 2024. But, for example, he goes to the Giants last year as a free agent after 4 years with the Browns, where he entered as a fourth-round pick. Mm-hmm. He plays 61 snaps and in pass protection gives up 7 pressures.
Oh,
that's
bad,
It's
right?
over 10%. The season he played the most, he played 16 games and made 7 starts as in Cleveland in 2023. Played almost half their snaps, about 48%. His pressure rate allowed, according to Pro Football Focus, was over 10%. Players with those rates of, let's say Drake May drops back 35 times and he's getting hit or hurried on 3 to 4 snaps just because of you. Forget the rest of the offensive line. Not good. So he's someone, though, who does have left-right experience, played mostly on the left side the last 2 years. In 2023, that year where he played a lot, Cleveland was on the right side. It just never came together. And the biggest piece that would have me worried about his long-term viability here, aside from he's probably just a camp body, which is fine. You need those. Is in Cleveland, he played under Bill Callahan, who is probably the second best offensive line coach of the modern era behind Dante Scarnecchia.
And still couldn't get it together.
And if he's, and they got different techniques, and everything Bill Callahan did isn't what Scar does, and isn't what Doug Marrone will do with him here in New England. And maybe it's as simple as we got to change your footwork here or you're set there. It just doesn't give me a lot of hope. But look, they've got one more offensive lineman than they had last week. They need offensive linemen. This is not a bad thing. I just am trying to keep your expectations low.
Okay. Let's see what Blind Scott has to say about this.
Good.
Yes, go ahead, Scott. Hello?
It's too bad.
Is he not there?
John, but hey, here's the thing. I become a bipolar influencer on Instagram,
Oh, congratulations.
I gained 5,000 followers. So there's a whole influencer group of bipolar people that advocate for themselves on Instagram. So now I'm getting paid for it. So I just sent you some emails. I don't think you should read them on the air, but they were influenced by bipolar earlier when you were talking about, your parenting, because I think you're like a helicopter parent, and you call yourself like a Midwestern dad, and it makes me real nervous because I've gone on dates with a lot of girls when I was younger, and it made me nervous because their Midwestern dads used to chase me out of the house because of who I was and what I looked like.
What about the swing tackle, though?
Oh, what do you mean the swing tackle? I've never heard of that.
Oh, thanks for listening to the show, Blind Scott.
Oh, what about Fred?
Okay.
No, that's too bad. The A.J. Brown situation continues to linger over the Patriots. Adam Schefter weighed in on it yesterday on the Pat McAfee show.
My understanding recently was such that the Eagles weren't in a rush to make a move, that if they made the move, that it would come after June 1st. Now, a lot of people have connected the Patriots. That's a logical landing spot for A.J. Brown. But what we don't know is what's going to happen with New England from now until June 1st.
There's another 30 or 45 seconds, but I think we've heard all this before.
Wait a second. No, what is he going to say? He's got some information.
All right.
They could bring back Steph Diggs. They could go sign some of these other wide receivers that are out there. They could go draft a wide receiver. And if any of those things happen, then that would probably take them out of the A.J. Brown market.
Hold on. There's still another 15 seconds.
New England's been through a lot with the league in recent years. Deflategate, other things. They're not going to bend the rules and take chances, do handshake deals under the table. Like, if A.J. Brown works for them in June, they'll make a move. If it doesn't, they're not going to do that.
I couldn't have said it better myself. There's more. You want more? I think I have some more here.
If A.J. Brown is still available on June 1st and they still have a need on June 1st, that becomes a very logical destination. But there's no under-the-table, to my knowledge, handshake agreement between the two sides to get A.J. Brown to New England despite the rumors.
All right, I think that's finally the end of it.
Okay, all right. That's good stuff.
Andrew, what have you heard?
Why don't you come prepared with insider juice like that, Andrew?
I had everything Schefter did. You just let him beat me to it. I think you guys are bad teammates about this. I had that word for word.
Yeah.
My understanding recently, same thing that he said. Look, first of all, I want to bank this idea. The most useless things that we say, maybe in sports media, but more as a niche around trades, like part of that was, the Eagles are in no rush. Thank you. They'll do the deal if the price is right. Obviously, if they like the player enough, they'll pony up something.
Here's your problem. Let me coach you. Let me be your.
Don't complain at the start of the analysis.
Say it with more gravitas. The Eagles will do a deal if it makes sense for them.
And then you have to have a dramatic
If the price is right, then the Eagles are willing to deal A.J. Brown. But to my knowledge, there is no under-the-table handshake agreement. Now, the Patriots could do other things. Steph Diggs could come back. You slow it down. You speak with great clarity, and the very obvious things somehow
sound more profound.
Yes, they do.
Mm-hmm. Elliot Wolf could wake up tomorrow and have coffee. He might have tea. Toast with jam or jelly, Nutella. We'll just have to wait.
Right.
This is a day-by-day decision.
Right.
Wake up, breakfast. You can understand it.
All right,
Sometimes it's what.
How about this? Go ahead, John.
No, I have one more NFL story I want to get to before we get to the
Well, can I
top.
offer just let me do the A.J. Brown thing quickly.
Yeah.
The landscape has not changed. And the piece about June 1st that we've been talking about now more than probably people want to hear has always been true. That drove up Philly's price. Patriots didn't want to meet it right away. There is a sense that the Eagles will come down. It's just a matter of, to say more obvious things, if the Patriots come up to meet them and find this middle ground. But that was a masterclass, by the way. And maybe this is just the cynicism of being in the business for so long, where at the start there are things, Schefter says there, that will help the Eagles in these negotiations. They are not in a rush. Okay, they've got the leverage. But the Patriots, though, could draft a receiver or sign Steph Diggs, which I wouldn't count on. Other things that would give them leverage to say, we don't need A.J. Brown. Mm-hmm. And then ultimately, I'm sure both teams, as a nicety, don't have a handshake agreement. I'm not reporting that they do. I would highly doubt that that's happened and certainly would be against the rules. And as he said, the Patriots do not want to run into Roger Goodell any more than they have. But was just a masterclass in what you were kind of doing there, Hardy, of like a little bit of the obvious. Here's where things are. And look, part of Schefter's job is doing these hits and saying the same thing over and over and over again.
And he's gonna get in trouble if he goes on and says what's really happening. He says nothing has changed. We're waiting for June 1st.
Or says what's real from one side or the other. If he just left it as like the Eagles don't have to do this, they're fine. They're not in a rush. Patriots are like, hey, man, we could take, KC Concepcion in the first round of 31 and then we're out of the business. Even if they did, I'd be like, I don't think so. I think you just trade Kayshon Boutte to Philly.
Oh.
Yeah.
In a pick.
Oh.
That's all.
Okay.
I like that. One big NFL story, massive extension for Jackson Smith-Njigba, 4 years, $168.6 million with $120 million guaranteed. That broke during the show yesterday. But the more important thing is that Seattle now has one more big contract to take care of, and the Patriots' Christian Gonzalez is watching. And Seattle has a defensive back, Devin
Witherspoon.
You didn't give me a chance to set it up.
What's happening?
Here's your chance.
Isn't that the guy that got stabbed?
What?
What's it?
What's the guy's name again?
Devon what?
Devin Witherspoon.
No, with a knife.
See why I wanted to get to this?
Oh, my God.
That's why I wanted to get to this.
Thank you.
All kidding aside, though.
No, wait, hold on. I think you've done that before when I filled in.
Yeah,
Probably.
probably.
Don't feel bad.
Yeah.
I got Zoe on it at least 4 times, and all with the same. It was always talking about non-sports, of course.
Yeah.
And it was with Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
All right, real quick. Christian Gonzalez is seriously watching this. God. This affects the Patriots. Devon Witherspoon.
God.
3 years. 3 years in, Pro Bowl, all 3 years. He's due a contract extension. So is your defensive back. Mm-hmm. He's looking at what Witherspoon is going to get, and that will affect the negotiations.
Yeah, and this is another where the landscape hasn't changed, and that's not to say we shouldn't talk about it, but you have to think Seattle did that deal with JSN, understanding we've got X amount of money reserved from this. Starts with ownership, and then you figure out the cap stuff after the fact. Okay, we got one deal done. To me, that says they should be closer then to a Devin with his knife deal because they've identified how much they've already given to JSN, who probably was asking for more, and like negotiations happen, they came up and he came down and they met somewhere there. So according to my guy Henry McKenna of Fox Sports, Patriots had preliminary discussions with Christian Gonzalez at the Combine. So now that's going on almost a month.
Yeah.
And there was some hope on I think some fans that you would get the deal done soon because you just don't want to think about this and revisit what happened last year. If the longer that went and things got weirder.
And also, it's going to happen. And
right.
There is a sense that the longer you wait, the more the price is going to go up.
Well, but that also is a matter of, I
don't know if that's true, but that's like that's the feeling. It's like, oh God, why isn't this happened yet? It's
because then
really,
the pressure
really
ramps up a little bit, and there's more pressure to get something done. And God forbid, another cornerback signs another big contract and jacks up the price further.
Well, and Trent McDuffie did that when the Rams traded for him,
right?
And that's a guy you trade for, knowing you have to give an extension anyway. But that was market setting across the board, and that's a guy who's played a lot of nickel, which Devin Witherspoon does. And Christian Gonzalez, obviously, as an outside corner, is seen as a little bit more value, not to mention he's younger. So there's a lot more miles to go for him in his career. But the piece is also, okay, what are they asking for? Like, we all say the Patriots should rush to sign Gonzalez. The price is only going to go up, yada, yada. You know who knows that? Are Christian Gonzalez's agents. And if they're saying it's cool that Sauce Gardner got 32.1, it just went a little over Derek Stingley Jr. or whatever it was, average annual value, we want 40. He's younger. He's better. You can give him a 4-year deal, and he'll still be 27. Like, this is a guy that you want, foundation of your team. Who else are your blue chip talents? You've got the money. You've got the cap. We've seen it. You've got a rookie quarterback. Make it happen. And the Patriots are going, that's insane. That is way too big of a leap to go up about 20%, 25% with that type of deal. Does he even want to be paid like a corner? Does he want to be the top defender paid? Does he want to be paid like a pass rusher? Because there's a real argument. Guys like him as a number one corner are harder to work around than an elite edge rusher. So if they believe that and make the case, which that's their job, their agents, that's harder for the Patriots to kind of bridge that gap.
There's another point that I want to get to regarding Christian Gonzalez, but we can wait until Doug Kyde joins us at 7:25. In the meantime, Doug Kyde, I think
Kyed.
Oh, okay, I've been pronouncing it wrong, and he is with some outfit here in town. I'm not sure. Is he good?
He's all right.
All right. We'll do that coming up, though. But you got to make a decision on something else. Then we'll do that next. Hold on.
Toucher and Hardy, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Hey, it's Fred. If you've been thinking about a new roof, you probably need one. Call my friends at
Boston Sports. Boston Sports. And it is all we do. 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Kaboom! Did we all just take acid? Take acid? That's unbelievable.
Toucher and Hart. What's he talking about?
Like you, Fred. I'm not worried.
The Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy without Fred Toucher. Andrew Callahan is with us. And he will help us go through an exercise that will not end until we come to an agreement. Oh. All right? This is not just, I think this, but John thinks that, and Andrew thinks this, and we all have different ideas about life. No. We must reach a consensus before we move on and bring in this Doug Keed fella, who is...
Kayed.
Thank you.
Okay.
He'll be joining us at 7:25. We'll discuss more Patriots. But until then, we would like to give credit where it is due. And a certain person who came up with where did this come from, Adam? I'm looking for it right now. I can't
Sam Block at the Block Spot.
All right.
Ryan found this.
I used to do stuff like I did a lot of this during COVID when there was not much else to talk about, and I would post things like this. I think my most popular one was one that I had originally done for the Sirius XM gig, where I posted 9 alternative album covers and said you can only pick 3, and there was just a grid, and it was.
It's a good bit.
That was Nirvana Nevermind, and it was the first Stone Temple Pilots album, and the first Alice in Chains album, and a Beastie Boys album, and a Rage, or whatever. This one has to do with essentially post and championship series in sports. All right? So I'm going to hand these. Would you pass that down to Mr. John Wallach? Okay. I know you guys have looked at this, but I want it in front of you.
All right.
Same exercise.
Okay.
You can only keep 3. But you got to cut 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Yes.
Let's see. How many bowl games are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right.
Too many.
Out of these 12, you can only keep 3.
Okay.
All right. Hold on. I just dropped my pen. I got to get it. March Madness. The NBA playoffs. The WNBA playoffs. Stanley Cup playoffs, college football playoff, NFL playoffs, MLB postseason, College World Series, Wimbledon, World Cup, the Olympics, and the Masters. So as a society, we can only keep 3 of these.
Okay.
The rest will go away. Now, does that mean the entire sport goes away? Or do we just eliminate the championship portion or this one event within the sport? That is what we have to conclude first, and then we can start the cutting.
So Sam Block, in all his wisdom, puts pretty clearly at the top sports events. So I think we're just doing away with the championship. You can watch your WNBA regular season, but if we say see you later to the playoffs,
right,
they still get to play a season.
Right. March Madness. They play all season long. You have your conference tournaments, and then it ends. Mm-hmm. That's it. You've got a winner from all the different conferences, and there's no March Madness. Okay? All right. So, gentlemen, a consensus must be reached. And in the interest of brevity and goodwill, let's start with the one that I think we can all get rid of.
The WNBA playoffs.
The Masters.
How dare you? College World Series.
College World Series. There are about 4 you can knock off immediately.
Well, let's do it.
College World Series.
College World Series out. Yep.
Now,
Wimbledon.
With stop it. No. What are you doing?
What do you mean relative to the other ones?
No. College World Series is gone.
You need a consensus immediately. These are easy. WNBA playoffs.
Hold on. Apologies to Omaha. They live for the College World Series. It's a big deal.
I don't think you need to apologize to Omaha.
My wife is
from Nebraska. That's
right.
part of it. Yeah.
They know who they are. Right. They know this is the only reason we talk about them out there.
All right. College World Series gone.
Right.
WNBA playoffs
gone.
All right. Again, Apologies to the WNBA. These are things that, you know, I personally and we are invested in. And it just, you know what? It hasn't been around long enough. That's our excuse. We don't have an emotional attachment to it from childhood. Okay? Just covering all of our asses.
I know what you're doing.
Sure.
What else did we say? What else can we immediately agree on?
Wimbledon.
You can still watch tennis at the U.S. Open, Australian Open, French Open.
Wimbledon.
And I like Wimbledon.
Very stodgy, very stuffy, even though I'm hopefully will be there for a day this summer.
And just to show that I'm not a sexist pig, that I'm in more ways a feminist than not.
I see.
The feminists always have to announce that they're feminists, so I trust you on that.
Yeah, right, which gives it all the credibility in the world.
That's how I know it's real.
I'm more likely...
That's a good dart you threw there. Yeah.
I'm more likely to watch women's championship tennis than I am men. I think it's a better product.
Why?
I think the rallies are longer. I think I think the men's game for certain eras has just turned into a contest of, you know, who can serve it harder. And I don't think that's
at Wimbledon. That's certainly the case.
Yeah. So,
but I'm telling you that good tennis, and we've been lucky to see some of the best in the world play the last 20 years, if not the best ever. I'm telling you that you are incorrect in that assessment. Having said all of that, I would say Wimbledon would be the one to go.
I would say that the years that Serena dominated, she dominated, and those weren't very competitive matches sometimes that she played in either. So, okay, whatever. But Wimbledon,
yes.
Out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Now it gets
I don't like doing this, but I think this is an obvious one if we talk it out. The college football playoff has yet to produce, in my mind, like a series of classics in the way that you've had NCAA tournaments where there's great first, second, Sweet 16, Elite Eight, Final Four, and championship games all throughout. College football is unto itself in the regular season. Those are high-stakes games every single week. This goes on, I think, a little bit too long.
You know what? Good for you for having the balls to say it and the wisdom to say it, because how long have we had a college football playoff?
Going on 10 years.
Not long enough. I'm not invested as much as I like it.
And you are invested in the regular season. Like, this is easy to say in New England sports radio. People don't care about it. But
it's gone. College football playoff gone. That leaves us with March Madness, the NBA playoffs, Stanley Cup, NFL playoffs, MLB postseason, World Cup, Olympics, and Masters. We still have to cut.
Can we discuss? I mean, the elephant in the room is the Masters. You are going to fight tooth and nail to keep it.
We're not getting rid of the Masters. You might as well just. I'll die on that hill.
You can.
We'll never get to Doug Kybe. We won't play the commercials. It's
Kyed.
It is a rite of passage. It is the unofficial beginning of spring.
Okay.
It is part of the greatest sports week on the calendar.
No thanks to the Masters, thanks to March Madness.
And the start of the Major League Baseball season.
March Madness and the start of the Major League Baseball season is the beginning of spring, not the Masters.
Let me do this. You said you're not getting rid of the Masters. I want you to picture me as the Jack Black motorcyclist character in Anchorman. And instead of getting rid of, disposing into the trash.
A waste of a cameo. It really is.
Where Jack Black gets in a crash with Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
He's very upset. He walks over and he picks up Ron's dog.
Yeah.
And instead of this being the dog, I want you to picture
Augusta National.
Jim Nantz,
Yeah.
all the Magnolias, the weird cheese sandwiches, Amen Corner, the walk up, the stuffiness, the hoity-toity, and like Jack Black with that dog, I'm taking the Masters and I am punting them off a bridge. I think we're down to 7.
Listen to all.
I think that's very well spoken. And you know what? Just like something else we discussed, there are 3 other majors you can go to. The Open Championship, which is just as hallowed and just as good.
All the things that you know about the Masters and are familiar with, and all these things you're willing to just toss aside. You know what? I'll give you this. We'll table it. We'll table it for now. We'll cut some other things. We'll come back to it. Okay?
This is his way of keeping it or as long as he possibly can. I could not agree with you more, Andrew Callahan.
This feels like a tactic when he's arguing with his wife and that works for her, but it's not going to work on us, Hardy.
We'll table it. Don't worry, we'll come
bust
back
your
to
balls and win the arguments.
How about this? The biggest sporting event in the world. With apologies to the big event coming and the friendly taking place between France and Brazil this weekend, World Cup. Anybody got a problem with that?
Yeah,
no.
This is tough.
No. As a matter of fact, the World Cup, even though I will watch it, I mean, I am not thoroughly invested in Ghana playing in Foxborough.
Right.
I mean, the U.S. has been so bad for so many years. I'm all for it.
Andrew,
I agree with you.
Get rid of it.
I'm not putting my flag on this one. I'll just say it's kind of strange. We're the only country in the world where this would even be a discussion.
It's gone.
It's a lock everywhere else.
What makes
which
us
is fine.
It's
That's
gone.
fine.
But
so we have 1,
that's how I feel
2,
too.
3, 4, 5.
I got another one here.
Well, hold on, Wallach. Before we get down to
Yes.
6,
Yes.
we have to revisit the Masters before we get to 5.
Yes. No,
because
go right ahead.
because
No, we
then he's
don't.
going
No,
to
it's been tabled. It's been tabled.
Okay.
Andrew, hold forth. I'm listening. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, don't let him get down to 4 and then talk his way into it.
No.
Hey,
That's true.
he doesn't hold forth. I hold forth. And we're getting rid of the Olympics.
This is my show, damn it.
Bye-bye, Olympics.
No.
Bye-bye.
No.
All right.
I look forward to the Olympics every 4 years.
Name the winner of 2 gold medals in these last Olympics, and not teams, actual individuals in sports.
Scholes, speed skating.
That's one.
That's one. The U.S. ice hockey.
No.
Oh,
I said not teams. Name the winners of 2 individual Olympic events in this past Winter Olympics. You can't do it. It doesn't matter.
See, the horrible thing is, I made Chloe Kim.
There,
Chloe
good.
Kim.
Thank you. There you have it.
Who definitely first didn't come to mind as Myles Garrett's girlfriend, as the guy who made a feminist joke 5 minutes ago, busting your balls. And thank God I said Chloe Kim first.
You want to keep the Olympics?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. I want to
There's
keep
the history.
Olympics.
There are unlike all of these
It's
other
the
events which
best
abide by one
athletes
sport
in the world.
Dozens of sports in the world. You're an actual world championship. We don't have to pretend. It's just them in the World Cup. The Masters, you win the next tournament. Well, who's really the world champion? We don't know. You know at the Olympics. You're the one with the gold hanging around your neck.
I do.
I care.
I care.
When else are you getting your curling fix?
Who cares?
We're not watching that. We're not using another.
If there was a way you could get rid of the Winter Olympics and keep the Summer Olympics,
How about that?
Do
How
it.
about that?
I would do that.
It's mostly the sports you don't care about. The 20-meter air rifle. Who cares? The biathlon.
No.
Who
It's
cares?
also the 100-meter dash. It's the fastest
Who
person
cares?
in the
Who's
world. I care.
Who is the current reigning gold medalist in the 100-meter dash? Who is currently the fastest man and woman in the world? You don't know.
Usain Bolt Jr. Look it up.
I don't know.
Making
Some
things
American
up.
probably won because Bolt didn't run the last time.
You're
Okay,
just
how
making
about this? We'll table it.
You can table it. What do you want to get rid of? The Stanley Cup playoffs? That's not happening.
MLB, I love baseball. I know we got to go soon, but at MLB postseason, sometimes there are too many strikeouts, too many home runs, too many walks. There's not enough action. As much as we've revived the sport, and I hate doing this, but I have to deal away with it.
How many have you gotten down to, Hardy?
One.
I lost track.
We lost
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We still have 7 left.
Okay, so I have a way out for the 3 of you.
Okay.
If
What's
you're
that?
interested in hearing it.
Someone just wants to get to break. That's all this is.
Yeah,
Well,
you
we
think?
were so late the last time. I understand where
So-
12's coming from.
So it's keep 3, ditch 9.
Yeah.
There's 3 of you. You each get to pick one, and that's how you get out of the segment. So make your case for the one you want to keep.
March Madness is the one I want to keep.
Can we do this after
Of
Doug?
all of these, John Wallach wants to keep March Madness.
Love March
Yes,
That is
yes.
maybe the
Oh,
weakest
how about
team
that?
that's
Do we have
been said in the
consensus
last
on March
15
Madness?
minutes.
And this isn't even the prisoner of the moment recency bias. This is maybe the greatest sporting event that we have.
Love March Madness.
Okay.
Yes.
You want
One down.
So John Wallach is of this list of 12 is keeping the college basketball tournament, the men's college basketball.
We're right in the middle of it. Yes.
I bet we have a second one.
I think there's some recency bias.
NFL playoffs.
Okay. This is great.
Okay, we got
and,
2 down.
And you now have to choose the Masters. That has to be your
No. I think we have consensus on the NFL playoffs and March Madness. So what we're really doing is just debating 5 events left for one spot.
That's fair. Yeah. That's what we're doing here.
Okay.
It's not the Masters.
That's not what we're doing. The
is what
executive
we're
producer of the show said we're all going to pick one.
That's right.
And that's the 3 that were
And
left.
the 2
with.
of you came to a consensus on the first 2, but that
So-
doesn't necessarily mean that you have to come to a consensus on
As
the
I
third.
as I began this segment with apologies to the College World Series and the WNBA playoffs, I will also make apologies to the NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs,
That's oof.
the MLB postseason. Bye-bye World Series.
all the same golf.
After the greatest World Series maybe of my lifetime.
The
tough.
Olympics. And I will keep
Ooh.
the Masters.
No.
Oh.
March Madness,
This sucks.
NFL playoffs, and the Masters.
You know what my favorite part of the
That's a good
Masters is, Hardy?
At the end?
How only white men were allowed in for like 80% of the history of that tournament in that club. It's my favorite thing. Keep the women out. Anybody else? That was it. Augusta, Georgia. Welcome. A tradition unlike any other.
Stodgy.
Let me ask you something. How's that Rooney Rule treating your favorite sport right now?
Oh, not great.
You getting a lot of minority coaches in there?
It is my fault too, so I'm glad you're holding me accountable.
Wait, and you're holding me accountable for what goes on at a golf club that I can't even set foot on.
One event we get for the rest of our lives.
I can't join Augusta National either.
Stanley Cup playoffs, was that easy for you? I'm not even a hockey guy, and I just go back to the old John Boyce quote of why watch playoff hockey when instead you could snort cocaine and ride a motorcycle out of a moving helicopter. Because they're one and the same. It's the most adrenaline-packed, insane experience of our sporting lives is watching overtime playoff hockey.
It's true.
Even if you're not rooting for the teams involved.
DJ will snort cocaine and fall down a flight of stairs and almost miss the Masters. In fact, he did miss the Masters. Yeah, if you want hookers and blow, we got that at the Masters too. All right.
Sorry, Doug. You've been waiting a while.
Doug Kied.
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 You sure?
Will join us next here on Toucher and Hardy.
Stay tuned for more Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
And I am your host, Nick Cattles. On today's episode, the Pats cut Joshua Dobbs, shaking up the quarterback room. The Patriots tried to trade Joshua Dobbs, and apparently no teams were interested. Not even a
last name.
None of us do.
Hurtful.
Yeah.
Doug Kied is a Patriots beat writer for the Boston Herald. Doug Kied, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning.
There we go. I was going to say, someone doesn't know how to pronounce my last name. And I don't think it's Andrew. It might be Andrew. I don't know if I've ever heard him say my last name.
I was trying to set a trap for Hardy at the end of 7 o'clock when we were talking, was it Patriots?
Yeah.
And it didn't work. So
You were
we'll
actually,
try again. We'll keep shooting.
You were actually trying to convince me that I've been saying his name wrong all
I mean, I
these
work
years.
with him, and I got a decent poker face. So, yeah. I honestly thought I had you.
Doug, I'm sorry that you've been subjected to this cretin for so many years, but it is what it is. All right. So listen, Schefter gave us some really good information earlier on A.J. Brown. He seems to think that the Eagles will do a deal if it's good.
That makes a lot of sense.
Not in a rush, though.
Can you, can you in any way either take down this report or support it?
I would support that report. Yeah. No, obviously, if it's a bad deal for the Eagles, I don't think Howie Roseman's going to do it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for them. But I don't know. I still wouldn't be shocked, obviously, at this point if a deal gets done.
There's also, Hardy, they're not going to give him away for free.
Yeah. Well, that and there's something about June 1st, which I haven't heard before, that I guess is this looming date on the calendar when things change. In all honesty, though, Doug, A.J. Brown is the player. And this is the conversation that we've had on this show before we get to the other stuff and the actual moves that the team made yesterday. Is he someone that you think would be disruptive to the locker room, just in terms of his presence, his personality?
I don't think so. He wasn't in Tennessee. I know things have gone differently in Philadelphia, but I think we all expected Stephon Diggs to be a little bit disruptive to the locker room last year. And obviously that was the complete opposite. He was a great team leader in the locker room. So you never really know with these guys. And I think in general, you're kind of used to some weirdness in the wide receiver depth chart. So, and when you're acquiring a guy like A.J. Brown, and you know the history with the Eagles, you know that there might be something there, but I don't think it would be disruptive. I don't think it would go that far.
Okay.
Doug, what do you think we're not talking about enough, if there's anything left? Because I find when we get into the discourse, and this goes for podcasts and shows where we're just waiting on a deal, everyone makes the same points and we end up in an echo chamber until some brave/stupid soul jumps out and goes, you know what, A.J. Brown's not that good. I don't want to do it, because we get bored with having the same conversations until the trade is made. Is there any small pebble stone unturned as far as we're not talking enough about X when it comes to A.J. Brown and the Patriots?
So we did an exercise on my podcast this week about going through the 30th through 33rd overall picks over the last 10 years. I think one thing that's being a little bit overlooked is that only about 35% of those players are hits. The rest are guys that you would much prefer to have a season or two of A.J. Brown over. And that's even before talking about that this is a bad draft. So I think that's being overlooked a little bit, that there's no guarantee that you're going to get a good player with that 31st overall pick. I think the other thing, too, is that there's a real debate about whether you would rather have the first-round pick this year versus next year. So I don't know, maybe the Eagles are looking at it the same way, where that June 1st deadline not only helps them cap-wise, but maybe they would rather have the first-round pick in 2027 just because it's expected to be a better draft.
All right, here's a question for both of you guys. Obviously, Denver surprised a lot of people by bringing in Jalen Waddle. Now, it was Waddle and a 4 for a 1, a 3 and a 4. That's a pretty significant trade, but I'm wondering, factoring in age and skill set, if you're the Patriots and you could have done the deal to get Waddle, would you have traded for him instead of A.J. Brown?
I would not have. I think that Brown, is only about a year older. I think he's more of a wide receiver that they need in this offense. He fills a void. I think that Jalen Waddle's a good player, but Jalen Waddles are a little bit easier to find.
I'm with Doug. A.J. Brown has been and still is better than Jalen Waddle has ever proven to be in the NFL. And Jalen Waddle's really good, but I think he's also a player who will have appreciably better production in certain systems where the emphasis is on yards after the catch. And like McDaniels can obviously do some of that stuff, but doesn't major in it in the way that, the Shanahan offenses do. And Sean Payton has to a degree with some of his players over the years, because obviously they see a fit. And right now, it's a little crowded in the slot. You'd rather have the X who dictates coverage in the way a guy the Patriots don't have right now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that you were waiting for Doug to respond to that. All right, so let's discuss something about Christian Gonzalez that we didn't get a chance to get to earlier. I heard a snippet of Felger and Maz yesterday, and it was talking about Mike Vrabel's approach as we have the Christian Gonzalez contract looming here, and it's not a question of if but when and how much. There was a discussion about buy-in and the type of players that Vrabel wants, leaders in the locker room. Christian Gonzalez, for as good as he is, I don't think has really taken the reins as being like the leader on the defense, the guy that other guys are going to rally around. Does this in any way affect the Patriots' desire to, not whether or not they will, because I think they have to. They absolutely got to lock him up to the deal that is going to break the bank in many aspects. But is there any consideration in terms of Christian Gonzalez and the type of presence that he is in the locker room, and whether or not he's giving Mike Vrabel everything that he wants out of a player of that caliber at that position?
I'd say possibly, but Vrabel really praised him at the end of the season and then even into the combine about taking a step forward during the season, becoming a better player, and then at the combine talking about him wanting to be a captain in the future. And I don't think he'll be the most vocal captain. He's obviously a very soft-spoken player, but that's never struck me as being an issue in the locker room. There's just some guys who have less personality and are a little bit quieter. I will say that the fact that Vrabel was praising him as much as he did about becoming a better player tells you that Vrabel didn't think he was as good at the beginning of the season. But I do think that his words rang true, and Christian Gonzalez did lift his game in the playoffs. And if it's true that he wants to be a captain, I think that Vrabel looks at that as a positive as well. So, no, I mean, I think he's a fine guy to have in the locker room, and he's obviously one of the best cornerbacks in the league. So you basically just have to sign him.
So I think the larger question of is a Christian Gonzalez type personality a Mike Vrabel type personality from a distance makes sense, but if they were paying a little closer attention to Doug's point, Vrabel mentioned he wants to be a captain next year. There's your leadership. There's your assertion. And there are two other things that are missing, even if you want to continue in the simple cynicism of that show, is to say, look, of course he's gassing him up after the season. He wants to get him extended. Two things on this. You saw a change that he described after the Baltimore game where the Ravens, you could tell, game planned, we're running at zero. These crack toss plays where you're pulling an offensive lineman as I hit myself in the mouth with my microphone.
Never seen that
really
done before.
ruins the flow.
Wow.
We had it first. caught on the watch. Excited to see that all over my mentions in like 2 hours.
Okay?
They ran at zero. They said, we're going to pull an offensive lineman around, and we're going at you because you can't hold up. Basically saying some version of you're soft.
Are you bleeding?
Are you all right?
No way.
Okay. All right.
Not bleeding.
Okay.
Stop. Yeah, I'm perfectly fine.
I don't know that you are.
Why not? You want to learn more about crack toss? I think everyone's waiting to hear about the intricacies of this run play.
What?
Keep going.
Thank you.
We're just very taken aback.
From then,
Hold on 1 second before you go any further. Before you go any further. He wants to be a captain. Okay. Does he want to do all the things that go along with being a captain? I'd like to be a captain. Sure, you want to call me a captain. There are other things that go along with it that are required of you, especially if you're Mike Vrabel and you're naming the captains, that I don't know that it's not that he doesn't want to do. He just doesn't have it in him. He's not that type of guy.
Does he want to meet the media after a bad loss? Does he want to talk to everyone for 20 minutes?
He was the first guy at the podium almost every game this year. After Vrabel went first player up there, and I'm correct on that, right, Doug?
I think so. I think a bigger question here, though, is he going to be a captain? Because Marcus Jones was already a captain last year in the cornerback room. Are they going to create an extra captain spot for Christian Gonzalez next year? And now that Vrabel has said that Gonzalez wants to be a captain, is it awkward if they sign him and he's not a captain? Because I don't know if he is going to be the best guy to be a captain. I think he can be a captain. I think he can be a leader. But do you force yourself into making him a captain just because he signed into an extension.
So to answer Doug's question, I don't think he'll be a captain next year. So it's nice that he wants to be one, and it probably won't go anywhere if I had to guess. But to finish the 2 points that I had, you saw it on the tape that he did become more physical. He played in the way that Mike Vrabel wanted. When Mike Vrabel said that change was happening, he wasn't BSing. The second thing is he's at a level of player, just like the receivers who get to be disgruntled or they're divas, that you make exceptions for because they're that effing good. You know what I mean? Like, that's a player that they've said, and Doug and I have heard, like, kind of half-heartedly, like, there are only 2 safe players in the roster. One's Drake May, one's Christian Gonzalez. Okay? Those guys get a lot of leash to be who they are. And they're tolerant of different personalities in that locker room. And especially for guys who are as good as Christian Gonzalez is. Because I don't think you could name 30 better players in the entire NFL than him. That's a guy that you give a lot of money and you give room to be himself. And he's developed in a way that has been more Mike Vrabel friendly because you see it on the tape.
You took your watch off.
I did. That was what caught the microphone.
So you think the watch was what caused you to
Let's
hit
go to the
yourself
instant replay and then put me in concussion.
Oh, don't
protocol.
worry. That Nick's working on a video.
Nick's working on
as we speak. Don't you worry.
I trust my guy, Nick.
So the watch's fault.
Doug, do you take great pleasure in Andrew's misfortunes? When you two are working together, maybe he spills coffee on himself. Maybe he trips in his way out the media elevator. Is that something that happens frequently enough for you to remember them, and do you enjoy them when they happen?
I feel like there's not a lot of like gaffes from Andrew like this, so I enjoy them when they come. But no, he's not like really the bumbling Chevy Chase type at work most of the time. So this is a nice side of him.
Okay, good.
It humbles him.
All right, I appreciate you. Appreciate you.
So your question, are you bleeding? It was so perfect that I obviously feel everything going on with my body, and I thought, oh my God, is there blood?
But you can. There's pain in your lip right now.
No, there's not.
There is.
Oh, that was a significant impact. You can't tell me you walked away from that unscathed.
I've been sitting the whole time. And I am going to go into protocol. I'm going to take a walk, see if I'm lightheaded. And if not, 12 might need to come in for a segment and, just put me in charge of producing.
Come into the blue tent.
With an injury like that, in the immediate aftermath, there's adrenaline. And you're not going to feel the pain right away. Let's get some ice on it during the break, and we'll thank Doug Kite.
Just rub some Diet Mountain Dew on it.
That's right. Yeah. Doug Kite once again from the Boston Herald. Thank you, Doug.
Thanks, buddy.
Absolutely. Anytime.
See you, Doug.
All right. We will check on Andrew's lip during the break.
I can't even do 2 stats in a line now. I might just have all lies. Just going to make everything up.
That's right. You know what? We have George on hold, and he can step in. He can be the backup.
Georgie?
2 stats in a lie. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
He's ready to go in case you can't perform.
2 stats and a lie, and 2 stats and a lie, I believe is how he...
9 stats, 3 lies, and a bonus fact.
Yes. But first, the headlines with Wallach.
Sports Hub headlines presented by Celsius Energy Drink.
Andrew and I were just discussing our bet for UConn, Michigan State.
I'd forgotten that involves the two of you in this room. I remember there was one game where Michigan State beat Ohio State in football, and Bert Breer was here the next day. I don't know why, but Hardy brought in he was wearing the Michigan State sweatshirt. He had Michigan State gloves that he delicately placed in front of Bert. And I forget what else.
It's like a long time ago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a mug. What else was there? You just unloaded on
I found
him.
my diploma, and I put it in a frame and brought it up. And then Jim Louth was producing the midday show at the time and shut it down in the first, 45 seconds because Nico Kudavides had been released, and he wanted to play the breaking news, and we had to talk, Patriots instead.
What percentage of the audience do you think would remember who Nico Kudavides was?
Oh, Louth remembers.
I know,
But
it's his call.
The best part was Burke.
How did Bert handle that?
Bert, you could have seen steam rising off his head. Bert really took that badly.
I can't remember the circumstances, but it was probably one of those stupid, wins for Michigan State where Ohio State was ranked number 1.
Oh, yeah.
And Michigan State stunk.
10-9 in the rain.
Yeah, beat them anyway.
Yeah.
That would have been
not
an
happy.
interview I did where you do like the Wes Welker foot joke. It's just every time you ask a question, Hardy, it had to do something with a Spartan or Michigan or a name-of-a player going.
Yeah.
Or just start asking, looking at the Ravens this weekend, Lamar Jackson, questionable. What happened in the third quarter yesterday?
Just
like twist the knife.
Change gears, yeah.
So, Michigan State and Connecticut. Ian Eagle's going to be calling that game.
And he will be speaking with us at 8:25. Maybe we can have him decide on the bet. My idea is if UConn wins, I'll wear the UConn jersey. Michigan State wins, Andrew has to service me live on camera and during the show.
Oh.
Charcuterie board.
Not that type of servicing. It's got to be like a full...
What do you mean? I don't get it.
Yes, you do. You know exactly what's happening. Agree or disagree?
Look, I'm concussed.
Shake on
I just smashed myself in the face with the microphone. You're going to have to explain it to me like I'm 5.
Did you watch
for the rest of the show?
Did you watch any of the flag football on Saturday?
No.
You didn't watch any of it.
Gross.
Good for you. I'm happy to hear you say that. That's fantastic.
And look, the flag football itself is not gross, but just the money grab and everything going on, I just don't like it. When we watch the Olympics, which we're keeping,
sure,
I will watch then when we have a team. Not this.
Not if I have anything to say about it. The Olympics are gone.
That's not what Walt and I have.
So, do you want the 5'6" Team USA quarterback representing the country?
Yes, I want the full-time flag football guys.
Well, do you know who the new top-ranked flag football quarterback is in the United States?
Thomas Edward Patrick Brady Jr.?
No.
Oh.
You know who it is, Walt.
No, I don't know who it is. Who is it?
This is real, by the way? This is legit. Who put this in? Ryan? The new top-ranked flag football player?
I didn't see
this. Or is
this.
it a joke?
This is in Slack. Oh, Nick put it in.
Oh.
What? So
I'm
is
sorry,
it real?
Nick. I missed it.
Rajon Rondo.
Rondo's kid. Rondo's kid, who's like 13 or 14. Is that him?
Oh, I thought it was actually Rondo.
No. I think it's Rondo's kid.
Oh, okay. All right, so Rondo's kid is the top-ranked flag football quarterback in the United States. This is an actual thing. They rank flag football quarterbacks.
How do you accumulate points for the rankings?
Who ranks and why?
I don't know.
Now, having said that, there are, and Andrew, maybe you're familiar with it. This actually impresses me as something you might have taken to in a slightly different path. There are they're not professional in any way, but there are like adult tackle football leagues that these guys play. I don't know how and where they get their pads and helmets and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Where does one go buy one set of shoulder pads and a helmet and all that stuff? I mean, I guess you do. But we used to see them practicing after, like, my kids would be done with practice at the West Roxbury Athletic Complex. They got nice fields there, and there would be this group of adults who would come out and play tackle padded football after our practices were done. That, to me, is insane. If you want to be in an adult flag football league, fine, great, it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
Knock yourself out. But to take it seriously to the point where you're getting ranked and you're having, like competitions, Who runs it? How does it work?
I don't know.
I have no idea.
Andrew, maybe that's another article during the dead spot before we get to the draft. What do you think?
What if they told you had to write about flag football?
I'd find a way. Sometimes something new and fresh is fun, and that's not to say writing about the Patriots hasn't been the dream. But it's like there were sports I covered when I was covering in high school. I had no idea about lacrosse being one of them, even as a kid who grew up in Connecticut because it wasn't that part, and I loved it. Great game, great sport, strategy, everything that goes on to the physicality, transition versus.
It's a good watch.
Fantastic. I'm sorry, I'm stuck on Rajon Rondo because. This is a rare case as a millennial who kind of grows up with the superpower of I grew up with the internet. I can tell what's fake and what's not. This I'm stuck on because there doesn't seem to be any definitive evidence, but there are stories at least passed on Yahoo Sports that depicts him as Rajon Rondo converting to play flag football. And they're like, yep, that's a thing. And then Reddit and the ever credible BarstoolSports.com has like, well, maybe, but it doesn't seem to be the case. So I'd love to get to the bottom of this. Because this is a great story, or it's a great psych out.
So it's not his kid. It's him.
It's him.
Oh, it's him.
And Rondo said in...
they say it's him, but it also might not be him.
In an interview with Matt Barnes on the All the Smoke podcast, that USA Football had, in fact, extended him an invitation to try out for the national team. Also, the International Flag Football posted earlier this month that Rondo would be playing flag football in a professional league, a post that was commented on by Rondo's ex-teammate, Paul Pierce. So, yes, Rondo has transitioned to flag football standout.
Okay.
All I know is that I tried to watch it a little bit on Saturday. I had it as one of my 4 screens with 3 basketball games going on. And even Bertrand, who, coaches his kids, and he's been a proponent of flag football, and he thinks this is going to be a thing. I heard him say yesterday, that was not a good product that they put on TV on Saturday. And I said, good, because if this is what I'm supposed to be all bunged up about, that style of play and, what I saw just out of, one corner of my TV, I didn't get it. I don't see what all the fuss is about.
Well, it's just a sugar high. Like, oh, this is different. And then there's guys that and you see the athletes who otherwise are just everyday people who have this outlet. But then I watch it for longer. And like you're saying, oh, that's it.
Do you know what I thought was the weirdest thing about it? I thought, other than Brady, who you can just tell it's Brady, the other players were not necessarily easier to identify outside of their paths.
Blended right in.
They just, Diggs I recognized, but maybe it's just because I was watching the highlight, a couple of times over of his pass. But the other guys, you would think, oh, that's him. You never really know if it's him with his helmet on. So it was the other way around for me. I don't know. It was an odd experience watching it that I did not enjoy. But apparently I wasn't alone.
Rondo I love because you always heard about him as, the chess master on the court.
Yeah.
Like, guy couldn't shoot and was still one of the best point guards in the league.
Connect Four master.
Yes. But, remember that series with the Bulls? And I think it was a 1-8 or 2-7 for the Celtics. He's with Chicago. Brad Stevens is calling a play. And he's like, yep, this is where it's going. Yep. And they win twice here. And somebody got hurt. Maybe it was Derrick Rose or
might have been
Jimmy
Rondo.
Butler, I think, got hurt.
They were missing a lot of guys. Rondo got hurt, too.
And it was a real advantage for them because of his brain. And I'm thinking, okay, there's only 5-on-5. And if you take that brain and apply it to flag football, like, does Rajon Rondo become Bill Walsh of this league? Because in this podcast,
especially
he wants to get ahead of the curve.
In a relatively new enterprise where that's what the NFL players weren't that good at it because it's a different game and it requires a different strategy and it is a chess or a Connect Four match. So, all right.
Easily confused chess and Connect Four, yes.
You have 2 stats and a lie ready to go?
Yeah.
All right. Is it just going to be me versus Wallach?
No, we get 12 in here.
I'll play 2.
All right.
All right, there you go.
Or maybe Nick?
I like that.
That's better.
Nick
well, you know what?
Once.
Nick saved your ass one week.
All right, let's get Nick back in.
We'll get Nick in there. It's a good call.
No issue with you 12, but let's get Nick to play instead.
Agree.
All right, we'll do that next.
You're listening.
Two stats and a lie. Two of these stats are obviously the truth. One is a lie. Some imaging with this would be fun.
Going to OG on the two stats, one lie intro on this Tuesday morning here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. Toucher and Hardy, no Fred, but Andrew Callahan is here. He is giving us an off-season two stats and one lie. So I have no idea statistically what we're going to be talking about. I don't think
could be anything.
It could,
he's done stuff with his career in the past. Could be anything. Yeah.
That was upon request, I'll say. And I don't know who I was talking to yesterday saying, yeah, I've enjoyed doing the ones that are show-centric, like when it was Fred's birthday.
Oh, yeah.
We did an all-Fred one.
Yeah.
There was one I did, one on Fred, one on you, and then I think the lie was Wallach's. And I like those. They're a little off base. This is off-season themed, still sticking with the Patriots, but recent events or things that are coming up, the draft. So I think we cover all our bases here.
All right. Well, it's no fun if it's just the two of us, so we need to get Nick in here, please. Nicholas, if you would join us in the studio to participate in two stats and one lie.
Nick, careful for these microphones. They'll jump at you.
Again, he knew 8 minutes ago he would be required to be in studio for this segment.
I reminded him to bring his headphones. I want him to be successful.
Sit in Fred's chair?
Yeah. Sit in Fred's chair. Make sure you made a vote. Is there a way to get a video of that?
Sit in Fred's chair.
Timing was perfect.
You're good over there.
That was really good.
Yeah. Excellent.
Hi, Nick.
Hey.
I never.
Oh, not because I don't want you here.
Okay.
I just like you being in Fred's chair.
Okay.
We all do.
Now I feel better.
Yeah.
I don't know if I ever publicly thanked you for keeping me in the game when I was off on the 90s.
Oh, you're welcome.
Yeah, but you had a big win for me.
I did.
2 points.
2 points.
Yeah.
2 points.
Deal.
Now, there is no chance that these are all going to be lies. Is
No,
that
no,
correct?
no.
No, come on, off season. You can't have that on the table off season.
All right. Let's begin this properly.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Let's do this. It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one might see if you can get it right.
We should have had Nick sing along live.
Oh, that would have been good.
You know what? Let's start it over again. Nick, sing along live.
All right.
Are you standing up or are you just raising the chair?
I was
No,
raising
no,
the
it
chair.
was
It was way
super
funnier
short.
when it was lower, though, for the YouTube audience.
All right. Okay, quit screwing around with the chair.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready? You have to
Yes.
sing along.
All right, testing 1, 2, 3. Let's do this.
It takes 2 steps from the other night. And one lie to see if you can get right. It takes 2 sets from the other night.
That was the shortened version.
Oh.
The radio edit.
Again.
It's all right. He did well.
Remix.
There you go.
We're not going to do it again.
All right.
Oh, I enjoyed that. All right. Number 1.
Yep.
In their franchise history, the Patriots have used a first-round pick on every position on offense and defense.
Ooh.
In their franchise history, the Patriots have used a first-round pick on every position on offense and defense. Now, this is not a case of too technical gotcha on this. There's no gotcha. I'll list the positions if you want to be clear.
I
or we
would
can
like
move
to
forward.
hear that,
Okay.
yes.
Quarterback, running back, receiver, tight end, offensive tackle, offensive guard, center, defensive end, defensive tackle, outside linebacker, inside linebacker, corner, and safety. So no kicker, no punter, no long snapper.
I understand.
No fullback.
Okay.
And no specific left, right.
No, just
okay.
the position.
Nose
What do you
nose
play?
tackle.
I play
No, you're not even. Nose tackle is not. You're just
defensive tackle.
defensive
right?
tackle.
It's a subcategory of a position.
I hate to be a
Subset.
pain in the ass, but there is a guy like Isaiah Wynn who is drafted as a tackle. I think he played guard for a while. There are guys that are drafted as one thing that played other things. How does that factor into this?
College position.
Okay.
So that was how they were announced when they were drafted.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
All settled there?
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Number 2.
Nick, do you understand number 1?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Great. Romeo Dobbs, $68 million contract. is more than Julian Edelman earned over his entire career? Romeo Dobbs, $68 million contract, is more than Julian Edelman earned over his entire career.
Ooh. It's funny, I was just thinking about Edelman, who was drafted out of Kent State as a quarterback. Did you know that? And other players have been actual lacrosse players. Did you know that?
Oh. See, when you come out in college, Hardy, you can play a different position, but you have to try it out once you get to the NFL.
All right, so
but they're not in a rush to figure this out.
So it's very simple. $68 million did Edelman make that, yes or no? Okay.
Over his entire career.
All right, gotcha.
Number 3, Drake May's recent trip to Japan covered more air miles than the Patriots are scheduled to fly for all of the regular season road games next year. So Drake May's one trip to Japan covered more air miles than the Patriots are scheduled to fly to all their different regular season road games next year.
Did he have a layover?
No, call it direct.
Okay.
That man is not having a layover.
I don't know. Flying out of Boston, you might have a layover. You stop in L.A. or San Francisco or something, or Hawaii. All right. Instead of having Andrew recap them, I would like Nick to recap the two stats in the line.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the first one is whether the Patriots have used their first-round draft on every position or not. Right? Yes?
Yeah.
Sure.
The second one is whether the amount of money. Edelman. Dude, I am so overtired.
You got this. No, you're good. Good.
All right.
Don't leak confidence.
So Dobbs making $68 million. Is that more? Did Julian Edelman make that in his career?
Gillian Anderson made on the X-Files.
Oh, my God.
Hey, he got that, more or less. That's fine. Nicholas, continue.
Thank you. No. And the third one is Drake May and his mileage, air miles to Japan, and whether it's going to
round trip
is going to be is it the same or more than the what the
you had it right till then.
All right.
He's got it.
Yeah.
He just doesn't think he does.
It's Drake May's round trip mileage to and from Japan is more than what the Patriots will travel for their road schedule in the 2026 season.
Yeah, this season.
Those are also round trips you're counting?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, they're not going to Jacksonville and just playing golf.
I didn't know if you were counting the return trip as part of the miles.
What a little smart-ass answer that was. Yeah,
Nick, am I wrong, really?
Yes, stupid.
I don't know.
He's going to be the only one that gets this right. You know that, right? He's going to be the only one that gets this right.
Well, I mean,
and he's not going to believe it.
To his credit, he understands all three of them. Now, he can't express it in, proper English.
No.
But the understanding is there. All right. Wallach, you want to go first? You don't have to.
No, I don't want to go first.
All right. I'll go first.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think the first round thing, because we're not including long snappers, we're not including special teamers, we're not including, specific tackles and things like that. That makes sense. We've had the draft for 50 some years or something.
66.
66 years of the NFL draft.
Maybe 65, but yeah, franchise started in 1960.
Okay. So I believe they have drafted every position in the first round. I don't think Edelman made anywhere near $68 million. I think that one's going to be a layup that Dobbs' contract is more than Edelman's. I think the air miles, once you total them up, and I'm thinking about where their road trips are, I think that's going to be more than Drake May's trip to Tokyo. So I'm saying number 3 is the lie.
All right. I'm looking at all of those, and this is how I'm operating. I'm trying to reel off, Irving Fryer, wide receiver, Damian Woody, center, Teddy Bruschi, defensive end and defensive tackle. They've done that. I can't remember a safety. I know McCourty was a cornerback. But I think that is true.
What the hell was that?
It sounded like a Demogorgon.
Did you?
What are you doing over there?
I was fixing my seat. Go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
An episode of Stranger Things.
My God. I tend to agree with you. Julian Edelman is a 7th-round pick, didn't make any money, and then Belichick hammered him for the entire time that he was here. I think that Dobbs made more money than Edelman ever made.
Edelman.
And
Jillian Edelman, yeah.
So, I mean, 3 is weird because there's no way in hell we could possibly really game this out because who knows how much a flight is to Tokyo and back, but that's a big number. I will say, and unfortunately it's not good for the game, but I agree with you. I think 3 is the lie.
Okay. Nick?
So you guys said 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think I'm going to go with 1.
Why?
Why 1?
Because what?
Keep in mind, this is what got him the win for you while you were gone.
Exactly, because you guys are choosing 3, so I'm just thinking I'm going to choose another one. And I think number 2 is actually true because I know that Jillian Edelman exactly used to take a hometown discount.
All right.
He's going to be the only one that gets this right, and it's going to frustrate the hell out of me. Yep. All right. So we have Hardy and I with 3 and Nick with 1. Andrew Callahan, what is the answer?
I guess I'm getting rusty in the offseason. Number 3 was the lie.
Yeah.
So.
Wallach got excited for a second, too. I wasn't sure what that
Do you want a cigarette?
All right. So,
I'm happy.
All right. So they've drafted every position.
Yes. And it's funny. He said Damian Woody, and I was ready to pull out Pete Brock as the center way back when.
No, but Damian Woody.
In the first round. Yeah. Who also played some guard, but drafted as
Woody
a center.
drafted at BC.
BC.
So what's the one that has been drafted the least? Is it safety?
No, I think it's center. Because those are the only 2 that came up for me, Woody and Brock. And safety's in there, but yeah, you're Brandon Merriweathers, and there's guys around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, so Romeo Dobbs, $68 million is the total value of the contract, but that's the number we used. Julian Edelman, according to Spotrac, took home $64.45 million.
Wow.
So you guys wildly underestimated his total earnings, but it was close, but you were right.
Because you think about the number of years, and he played 2 years after Brady left?
Yeah, and the other part of it is I remember when Wes Welker was here, they didn't pay him at all, which is one of the reasons he went to Denver. So
Edelman the total offer made to Wes was actually more than what he was offered in Denver.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah.
What?
Wes
I don't think so. Wait a sec, sir. I don't think it was. Yeah, we offered him more, but he left.
Wes's girlfriend didn't want to stay in New England.
Yeah, that was the other thing too.
That's right.
That's what happened.
So that's what the Edelman thing.
So it was only $4 million apart on what Dobbs could make and what Edelman made.
Right.
All right, air miles. What's round trip to Tokyo?
So round trip to Tokyo. This is rough, but this isn't close when you add up all the trips the Patriots have. It's about 13,400 miles.
Okay.
Nicholas, where are you going?
Literally halfway
around
the world.
We're not done yet. Have a seat.
No, he can go.
Oh,
no, stay.
No, he's fine.
I have to get back to his video.
You can wait on that.
Let him go.
Seattle, where they're going, 5,000 round trip. L.A., 5,200 miles. Kansas City, 2,500 miles. Jacksonville, another 2,000. So right there with those 4 trips, you're over.
Okay.
Which is to say, not only do we talk about, the Patriots schedule in 2026 is going to be really hard. Look at all these good playoff teams. They're flying a lot. And one of these games that I didn't even mention, Detroit, might be in Munich. So there's like a real toll here with the air miles.
Right.
Drake May essentially took a whole lap around the world going to Tokyo and back. Oh, it's actually a little less, Callahan. Okay, cool. Patriots are flying a lot this season.
Well, that makes up for last year where they can go a bunch of anywhere.
Yeah, I think it was the 6th fewest miles, maybe 4th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you were to say all the way, no, the circumference of the globe, I believe, is about 25,000 miles. So no, let's not oversell how far he went to go to Japan.
They call it the Far East for a reason,
That was good though. Well done.
Andrew's got 2 stats. Andrew's got 2 stats.
Looks like the magic Nick sauce.
Come on, girl!
Wore off. He was good for. Well, he was good when it mattered to keep me in the game while I was gone that week. But not so. Congratulations, Wallach. I feel good. I feel good about it.
I do. It's not often you beat Andrew, so I'm going to relish this win while I can and savor it all off season.
You should. Maybe we'll play again.
Ian Eagle's set to join us here in just a few minutes. We'll talk about the tournament, get his pick for the UConn-Michigan State game, which he will be calling, and also have him determine what the bet should be between me and Andrew. I still think mostly mouth stuff. I think mouth stuff should be involved.
It's Sweet 16. Hand stuff, I think, is the ceiling on Sweet 16.
Yeah.
Final Four.
You know what?
Going to be able to raise the stakes.
You're right. If it were a Final Four matchup, then we could get into it, but we'll keep it to hand and heavy petting. All right, Ian Eagle with us next here on Toucher and Hardy.
Julian Edelman.
You're listening to Toucher and
Boring.
And he's back with Fred on.
Andrew Callahan is here, and there are times when this show feels bigger than others. You know, those precious few moments when you feel like, you know what, doing a real radio show. We are big time. We're not just local morning radio hacks, because sometimes we'll get a guest of a certain stature that makes me feel both validated and vindicated. And such is the case as we welcome in play-by-play announcer for CBS Sports, Ian Eagle. Once again, a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for lowering yourself to join us here on the show this morning, Ian.
You got me really excited on the lead, and I'm like, who do they have? This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to hear this.
Who am I going to get to talk to? Am I going to be on too?
Ian, you have a question, don't you? Do you have a question for someone? Yeah.
No, Ian, I'm being totally serious. Watching the games over the weekend and listening to your voice, I'm sitting on the couch with my wife, and I said, we're going to have Ian Eagle on the show next week. She said, really? Because she hasn't listened. She doesn't care.
That's how you know.
But, yeah, it's like every once in a while we'll have a guest on. I'm like, yeah, you know, I've been on the radio every day for like 30 years, and it's actually kind of a big deal sometimes, and we get real guests. Yeah. So if you impress my wife, you've done something.
100%.
Yes,
100%. I appreciate it.
What do you think of the tournament so far? We all judge these tournaments against other tournaments in years past.
Yes.
I think it's been fantastic. I think the Siena Duke game, made for some great watching.
Yeah, it was fun.
The High Point Wisconsin game, but just overall, what do you think of this year's tournament?
Yeah, I think we have this double-edged sword that happens a great deal with the NCAA tournament, where, of course, the upsets, the Cinderellas, that's what we love, because those are memorable moments. They stick with you for years upon years upon years. And then often you get those early, and then you get some real dogs in the second round.
Yeah.
And you come out of the first week and you're like, was that good? Was it that good? I didn't. This year, I just thought it was highly competitive throughout. You had enough of the upstarts that made for some drama, but now you look up at this Sweet 16 and you say, man, this is going to be incredibly competitive. I'm going to D.C., where you could easily make the case that any one of these four teams, if they made it to a Final Four, nobody would have questioned. And we have that in a regional semifinal. So to me, that indicates that the tournament is alive and well, and clearly that first weekend had heart-stopping action right through to the bitter end, where you're staying up, maybe not you guys, but you're staying up very late on a Sunday night, still glued to your TV to see who's going to make it to the Sweet 16.
And Ian, as someone who's got the frame of reference in the history of watching so much college basketball, tell me, if as someone who's watched parts of the regular season and certainly last weekend, the high end of these teams feels never deeper. Like you always, sometimes you hear about, 6 to 8 teams can win the tournament.
Right.
This is high level college basketball, where some people lament the loss of the underdog because of NIL and the tectonic kind of shift underneath the sport. I look at this and go, these teams are so good at the top. As a diehard UConn fan and grad, I just don't feel confident because of how good the tournament is, as good as it's ever been at the top.
Yeah, and I think of it this way, and it's not just based on the timing of me succeeding Jim Nantz to take over the Final Four, but this is an indicator of where we are in college basketball. 2 years ago, UConn just plows through the competition. They win the national championship for the second consecutive year, and at that point, they had figured out how to do this. They had recruited correctly, they had paid correctly, they had evaluated their talent correctly. They had the right mix. They had combination of homegrown with grad transfers. They just had the secret sauce. And it wasn't a really competitive tournament. But if you're a UConn fan, you remember it very fondly. Last year, where other teams caught up a bit and had figured out the formula of how to put a team together, we had 4 number 1 seeds in the Final Four, and we had 3 highly competitive games in the Final Four, played at an elite level of college basketball. And I do think it was quite memorable. Just popping up on my feed yesterday, and we just never know randomly what's going to be on your feed. It was Duke Houston in the final minute 50 of that game.
Yeah.
Duke had it won. That thing was over. If they execute one possession, if they inbound the ball cleanly on one possession, they probably advance to the championship. And then who knows what happens once you get there against Florida. But Houston found a way in that game. Florida and Auburn was a drag-them-out battle. And then the national championship game comes down to the final possession where a team doesn't even get a shot off with a chance to win the championship. So to your point, I think we're seeing high-end college basketball. If you're a real fan of the sport, maybe there's a part of you that misses the mystique of who's going to emerge, a team that I knew nothing about. But I think the other side of it is we're just getting really fun, competitive games.
Well, you're going to Washington, D.C., and it's interesting you brought up Connecticut because Andrew Callahan, who is subbing in today, is a UConn grad. We have Hardy, who is a Michigan State grad. So needless to say, they have been talking about this game this morning, knowing that you are going to be on.
And this has never been done, Ian. There's a wager made on sports radio between two people from competing teams. So we'd love to make history with you here today.
Because you get to decide what's on the line.
Well, I want it to be sexual in nature, and I would never. Ian's already lowered himself to be on the show. I'm not going to ask you to decide
go too far on this.
No. But, you say like you could see any of these teams making it. I, of course, think that Michigan State can, succeed, but that's my heart talk. And I wonder, and this is something I've wondered about with this team for years now, if you don't have the shooters, I don't know that you can necessarily succeed once you get to a certain level. Is defense going to be more at a premium with the field that is left right now, or is it going to come down to shooting like it so often does, almost all the time does at this stage in the tournament?
Well, let me first say I'm honored to be a part of the first ever sports radio wager. This is unprecedented. It's never happened before, so just happen to be.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just to be in the conversation, even on the periphery.
To be in the conversation.
Yeah.
I think it's interesting as the season progresses how perceptions change, because I do believe there was a time where UConn was thought of as the best team in college basketball. They have a chance to win this thing again, and they got humbled a few times along the way, only to bounce back this weekend to see what they're really capable of. They have such a dominant big right now in Tarris Reed. When you grab 27 rebounds in a NCAA tournament game, that means that you've figured out how to play your position at a high level within the confines of this tournament. And I do believe that what Dan Hurley has done is pretty special in an era where we didn't think there was even a chance of creating this kind of long-standing dominance. When you're being mentioned in the same likes of UCLA from the 70s, if they were to win a championship, they're doing something that has not been done in 50 years, plus years, a team that wins 3 titles in 4 years. So it's a credit to the program and what he's done. And I know that this weekend people had a lot of fun at the idea that Hurley and Cronin were going against each other, old school. Dan Hurley is a tremendous coach. He has cemented himself, in my mind, among the pantheon of college basketball coaches. He will be in Springfield, Massachusetts. He's a Hall of Fame coach. He's going against a guy that has already gotten the reputation because of what he's done in this month and figuring it out and problem solving. And the fact that you have certain programs that are considered high-level programs that can't seem to sort out how to maneuver in this current climate, but Michigan State does. The consistency in which I don't believe they're littered with stars, and I think that's probably what's given some people some pause about really committing to Michigan State being a national championship contender. But they figure it out, and they've done it with guys that have been there seemingly forever. When you look at Jackson Kohler and Carson Cooper and Cohen Carr, have they been in college for 9 years? It just feels like they don't leave, but that's a great sign. That means you're keeping your your players, you're developing your players, you're developing a certain style of play. I think it's probably going to come down to one of these X factors, and maybe that's why Michigan State fans are a little bit on the fence as to whether or not they can see this happening. It may come down to a Trey Ford or a Kerr Tang or a Jordan Scott to be the difference in whether or not this team advances. And that's probably why there's been a little bit of pause.
I'd love to pivot quickly to some storytelling, because I think most people know when you say on the broadcast, oh, we spoke with Dan Hurley yesterday when we were at practice with Tom Izzo. You get time with these coaches, but they are more relaxed than we ever see them in press
Dan
conferences.
Hurley ever relaxed?
No,
really?
he's a maniac.
Yeah.
And I love him, but he's an absolute maniac. What is an instance of a story in a production meeting you met with a famous coach or a player that you couldn't exactly share on the air because it is on the air? But here in this safe space of the morning show,
it's
years
radio.
past,
Yeah.
it's just radio that, couldn't make it for the broadcast, but here you can tell us, because this is a moment you will just remember from that one production meeting or practice that you'll never forget.
But you know what it is, though, guys? I'm with Bill Raftery, and I'm with Grant Hill, and I'm with Tracy Wolfson, and I've worked with Raf for 33 years. Like, literally, it blows my mind to even say that number out loud, having done Nets games with him back in the mid-'90s. And Raf has an ability, because of who he is and because of the relationships, to sit down with a coach, with all of us there in a group setting, and ask something or put the coach in a position to have to answer something based on the relationship. And it's usually with a lot of fun and an expletive that will be a part of whatever it is that we're talking about, but it can never make air. It can't possibly make air. So I'm not exaggerating. Every meeting we have, there's usually something that comes out of it that you think to yourself, oh my goodness, that is tremendous. I can't say it, but it is. And a lot of it just has to do with Bill, because of who he is, because of his persona, and because of the years upon years of relationships that he's built with all of these head coaches. Tom Izzo is about as great a guy as you can sit down with and just talk hoops. And he's brutally honest. And I've had the good fortune of now covering this tournament for 29 years. And to think that has spanned his entire stretch, and he's still doing it.
Yeah.
He's still doing it at a high level. That is insane in modern sports, that someone can continue to do it in their way and still maintain a certain standard, which he has.
One final thing for you. It was one of the first round games. It may have been the first game of the tournament. I can't remember, but watching you early on, kind of a nice moment as you're calling the game on TV. Your son Noah was calling the same game on Westwood One. You made a comment as I was watching the game that people were saying to you, "Oh, I saw your brother here in the building."
Yeah,
now you said, "Okay, now." That is true. Now, I didn't know how to take it, as whether you meant it as a joke or whether that actually happened. That actually happened?
That did happen.
Which
yes. I had a handful of people come up to me and said, "Just met your brother. Man, great guy." And I just let it go. I'm like, "Oh, thank you."
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, no.
His
mom's really proud.
Huge compliment to you. How does Noah feel about that?
I don't think he sees it as a compliment. I think he says he's an older soul, but I don't believe he sees it as a positive. So, hey, you got to be honest. And then the funny part, we're transitioning back to the action, and Tracy makes a joke that we're rooming together on the road, which I confirmed in what I thought was a joking manner. And then I'm not exaggerating, 25 texts from people during the action saying, "Oh, that's so cool that you guys are staying in the same room." I'm like, "What are you, high? What, you think we're sleeping head to toe? What do you think's happening here? This is an actual job. This is my vocation."
Two grown-ass men. We're not sharing a hotel room.
This isn't Vegas. We're not 25.
This isn't Hangover 4 with Ken Jeong. This is real life.
Well, I mean, if Raph is involved, you might get Hangover 4.
There it is. There it is.
Ew.
Bring it home. It is such a pleasure to talk to you again, and it's you've become just synonymous with the season and big sporting events, and it's a really do appreciate you taking the time to talk
really
to
appreciate it. Always great talking with you. Give Touch my best. Tell him that Meredith Baxter Burney reached out during the tournament. She was enjoying the action, and that was a highlight for me just to hear from her.
He will love that. He will love that. Ian Eagle, we look forward to hearing and seeing you again soon. Thank you, Ian.
All right, guys.
Thanks,
enjoy
Ian.
the madness.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you. Very good. There he goes. Ian Eagle. The best. The absolute best.
He rolls with everything perfectly.
And I heard him talk about the hotel room thing also. And I thought he was going to say he got text messages from people offering up a room. Hey, we're at the hotel next door if you need another room.
What are you, high?
No.
Are we head to toe? It's like the old Seinfeld. Your genitals are still lined up.
Yeah.
It's like, we just slept head to toe. It was fine.
What, is this Willy Wonka
That's
where the
fine.
grandparents all sharing the same bed? All right. Let's step aside here for a moment. Wallach with the headlines and then more as we continue here on Toucher and Hardy on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines presented by people listen to Touch Your Hardy?
Because it's a thing.
All right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Sure.
No idea what you're talking about.
Here's more of The Thing on the Sports Hub.
Toucher and Hardy, John Wallach, borrowing a phrase from politics as he prepared his copious notes for the show today, as John always does, and I appreciate his efforts there. Leading off yesterday afternoon, John said Tommy Cutlets is now only a heartbeat away from being the man.
Yep.
A heartbeat away from the presidency, a heartbeat away from being the quarterback of the New England Patriots. Now, that makes Drake May's health situation sound a little more dire than it is. I do believe him to be in perfect health.
Yes.
But yes, let's say one sprain away from being the man. Is that really the case? And is that so bad? So going forward, will that continue to be the case? Will there be someone else in here? But your thoughts on the quarterback room, Andrew, and all right, Tommy DeVito as an actual quarterback.
Yeah, Josh Dobbs, I think, served his purpose. You signed him last year for Drake, who's a second-year quarterback entering his first year in a system that Dobbs, didn't really know but had been familiar with parts of. So he's able to help him transition, and he's a steady presence. But Drake has got such a high football IQ that, yeah, there's always a little bit more mastery to pick up and learn over the system. But right now, he's a third-year guy who's going to be a second-year captain. This is his team. He'll know the offense. So you don't really need a Josh Dobbs to kind of not hold his hand, but be there as a mentor. Get Tommy DeVito, who's a legitimate backup with starting experience. And then I think if they want a third quarterback, take one in the draft, a developmental guy, which I think every team would love to do. And you don't always have the luxury of doing so if you need the roster spot elsewhere. But 4th or 5th round pick, because then that guy might be Tommy DeVito in a year or two.
Right.
And he's cheaper and maybe better.
I haven't seen DeVito play enough to really have a firm opinion on him, but
I just remember all the press conferences about him eating cutlets at his mom's place 10 miles away from MetLife Stadium. Living there. Oh, it's a whole thing. I can't wait.
I choose not to even address the obvious situation and storyline that goes along with Tommy.
You got your training camp questions all mapped out there, Andrew?
Oh, did you go to the North End this summer?
Right. Oh, I have a video that proves it. Oh, yeah.
He's well liked, I'll tell you, though, in the locker room. They had this thing among the receivers. They'd all wear red, whether it was kind of like the Under Armour underneath their shirts or the shorts or whatever, and he would jump in there with them, and Drake liked him a lot. I only talked to him actually once, really for a story. He kind of BS, hey, how are you? How's the move going?
Yeah.
Just to get to know the guy. I got to cover you. And, the event he's ever upset with something I wrote or said, he knows my name. Here I am every day. But he was awesome about the story I wrote about Drake May's got this allegedly $10,000 orange juice machine that they brought into the quarterback's room. And he goes, it's the best thing I've ever had in a room. Anywhere else I go, I'm buying one of these. Because people would just come from around the building. And until that point, it's like, oh, I really like it. It's good orange juice. And Pop Douglas thinks it's got healing powers because of all the vitamin C. And he's like, this is God's gift to our position room. It's awesome. And there are guys who will exaggerate or say things.
Yeah.
He just was straight up and is secure and comfortable. And I think in addition to you got a little moxie, that dude is so comfortable in his own skin that he can handle a New York. And if he has to step in, because God forbid a sprain or heartbeat changes for Drake May, more than capable to take over the team and play quarterback.
I only talked to him once, too, and I thought he was great to talk to. And from what I have seen of him play, I'm like, oh, he can play.
Yeah.
Good. All right. This is fine. It's a really nice position to be in that, A, I don't think a lot of teams get, and B, Patriots haven't had in a long time, where you've got your quarterback and he's at an age and there is a belief that he is the quarterback for the future. He's not going anywhere. You really don't have to worry about the backup. And, for a while it was whether or not there was a veteran in the building to help out, with this situation, whether or not, even Brady would be available for certain chunks of the season or an entire season if you go back all the way to 2008. But then it became, all right, who's next? And that part got ignored for so long because Tom just kept playing and playing that it got pushed aside. You were able to skip over it, and it seems like a really bad 4 or 5 years that you went through while trying to figure out who the next guy was going to be. Turns out it wasn't all that bad. you only had to wait a very short window compared to what other teams have to go through. Right. Now you got the guy in place. The backup is kind of a luxury conversation. And I say that because I don't know that the team around it so far, based on what they've done in the offseason and what they can do in the draft, is going to be good enough to where you say, all right, if the quarterback goes down, we got to have the next guy in place because, it can be a Nick Foles situation where he can continue and carry this team on another championship run. I don't think that's what you've got here. I think the gap is going to be too great between the quarterback and whoever the backup could be to where you can think of yourself as that type of football team.
Yeah, and that's because the roster isn't as talented around Drake May. Like,
Correct.
They carried him in the playoffs, but in the way that, hey, he only had to score, a touchdown per game, basically. And they were able to do that because their defense was that good, but we knew they were playing above expectation. The DeVito thing, and Josh Dobbs, too, is interesting to me because I think this is a lesson learned, even though the Patriots have turned over a couple of regimes here. You remember, the Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones dynamic. And even, Bailey Zappi thinks he's a starter. Cool. Tommy DeVito probably does too. But how does he handle himself on a day-to-day basis in the building, and specifically with the starter? Because if you're really supporting that guy and offering tips and standing on the sideline, that's helpful because you as the backup know exactly what he's seeing, what he's supposed to do on those plays. And back in those Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi years, Mac Jones's behavior played a role in this, but there was no conversation between those two. Like when Doug and I wrote our first co-authored story of what the hell happened here this season, part of it was that room was so toxic that naturally it affects the starting quarterback. It seeps down to the rest of the team, and then you get some division. Tommy DeVito might think, hey, I'm a starting quarterback, but he knows my job is to be the number 2 and support Drake May. It's good if they get along, and it's even better if he's willing to do everything a number 2 should, because when he's not, we saw what happened. It affects not only just the room, but the offense and the team.
Yeah. All right. Let's step aside here. We have more in this saga between Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith to get to, and we will.
Patriots, Bruins, the Celtics. WBCFM and HD Boston 98.5, the Sports Hub. Leslie Media Group Station celebrating 65 years of broadcasting. Essential Sports Hub headline presented by Celsius Energy Drinks.
Bruins back in action tonight. They're at home against Toronto in the opener of a back-to-back. Ryan Johnston and Bob Beers have the pregame at 6:30 and the face-off at 7 here on 98.5, the Sports Hub. Bruins will be in Buffalo tomorrow night. And they made some news yesterday evening. They announced late last night they have finally signed first-round draft pick James Higgins, but to an amateur tryout agreement. He will play in Providence for now. This is different than an entry-level contract. He will practice with the Providence Bruins today. The Patriots yesterday released backup quarterback Josh Dobbs. The team has signed Giants free agent backup tackle James Hudson as well. Red Sox played their final exhibition game at JetBlue Park yesterday. They lost to Minnesota 9-6. Johan Oviedo allowed 6 runs in 3 1/3 innings. Red Sox visit the Twins today in Fort Myers, and then they head north. They'll play Cincinnati in the regular season opener on Thursday. Sox also yesterday sent catchers Mickey Gasper and Matt Tyson, utility man Nate Eaton to Worcester. Lefty Connerly Early has apparently made the team. And the Chicago Cubs and All-Star Pete Crow Armstrong are reportedly finalizing terms on a contract extension. According to USA Today, it's for at least 6 years and $125 million. Sports Hub headlines are brought to you by the Massachusetts Energy Marketers Association, providing safe and reliable energy services for your home and business. I'm John Wallach on Boston's Home for Sports, 98.5 the Sports Hub. Your next update at 9:30.
You actually coaching the game, or it's just that is. I feel so strongly about that. I can't even tell you.
Boston Talk Sports here.
What do we got?
The Sports Hub. And now back to Toucher and Hardy on the Sports Hub.
Some kind of a show. I don't know what this show is. What show is Cam Newton doing these days?
I don't know. Cam Newton is doing a podcast, but it's on YouTube, and he wears all kinds of funky hats. And in this video, he's got a Larry Bird shirt on. He's just dressing as flamboyantly as possible, doing his best to make people pay attention.
Well, that's Cam Newton is got style. He's got panache, and
Fourth and One is his podcast, right?
Okay, thank you.
But for some reason, because I do believe Cam Newton has, things to say, and I think there's an audience for what, Cam Newton could be doing. For some reason, he's giving a lot of room to Jason Whitlock, who is, of course, the man who talked about
that peanut butter skin with that big rack. She's got a big pair of cans.
Yes, and talked about how he had to control himself around the wiles of an attractive young woman because
I know what I'm capable of.
Okay, that's not true.
Not true.
That's not true. There's no danger.
Well said at the end. Finally.
Yes, of you having anything to do with that woman that you were speaking of, but Jason Whitlock, given free reign and an open forum on Cam Newton's show to go after Stephen A. Smith. And this was a couple of days ago. And if you could turn that up for me, 12, thank you. Here is Jason Whitlock.
What is it between you and Stephen A. Smith?
Oh, God.
Again.
Come on.
It's a podcast. There's no need to do anything succinctly or be on any kind of time constraint or get anything done before the commercial break. You just got as much time as you want.
The weight of the world is upon this guy.
Yeah.
Where does he begin?
Poor fella.
Look, and I got to be respectful. You work with Stephen A., and so this has I nothing, don't want to go. Listen. I'm cordial with Stephen A. Smith just like I'm cordial with anybody else. It's just a simple question.
Your word's your statement.
I've done the homework on Stephen A. He's fraudulent. He's lying about his college basketball career. He's admitted he's lying about his college basketball career.
Well, if he's admitted that he's lying about it, then how is he fraudulent? I mean, I don't understand, but okay, continue.
If I sat in the media space for 20 years telling everybody, I played for Big House Games, I got a full ride scholarship after knocking down 17 straight three-pointers in a scrimmage on a Sunday when they played a game on Saturday and they hosted a scrimmage on Sunday and I knocked down 17 straight three-pointers and they gave me a scholarship on the spot. Anybody familiar with HBCUs? Anybody familiar with Winston-Salem State and how little money Winston-Salem State has and had back then? They're not giving out scholarships on the spot to anybody. It's all a lie. And I've done the homework. It's all a lie. It's fraudulent. Everybody has seen someone like Stephen A. Smith, who in 4th grade, by his own admission, got held back. When he was in 11th grade, his counselor laughed at the thought of him going to college. And again, someone like me that's a journalist that followed, we're the same age. We came up together. I know how fraudulent he was as a sports writer and how they had to rewrite everything that he did. And to see him passed off as the face of sports journalism and the top of the profession, Bob Iger and the $20 million a year that they give this guy to be a puppet and the standard for sports journalism, it's a joke. And I know I know it factually.
Okay.
Sheesh.
I have no idea. I'm not like a constant Stephen A. Smith listener, viewer, watcher, so I've never heard him talk about his college basketball. Does he talk about it a lot? Does anybody know?
I do not.
Okay.
That storyline, I think, is about as old as Jason Whitlock's legitimate career was long ago.
So what I do know, and what I know from being like, as a part of this business, nobody that I know has ever said or thinks of Stephen A. Smith as being the forefront of sports journalism. Stephen A. Smith is an entertainer, and he entertains, and he hosts shows, and he gets in fiery conversations with other sports people who are in the sports media. But to think of him as being propped up as the preeminent or somehow the best sports journalist, that is just, if it's not factually incorrect, it is a gross misinterpretation of the way the sports media landscape is and the way he's viewed. I mean, do you think, Andrew Callahan, and you, I would consider to be a sports journalist.
Well, thank you.
You're on the Patriots beat. You report on stories. You also write opinion-based columns. Do you think of Stephen A. Smith as being a sports journalist?
No, he's not. And he will pull those credentials or claim to on occasion. And I say this like you. Like, I don't really... Stephen A. Smith is not for me. So I'm not watching those shows. We got other stuff going on during the day. But his success and his talent and his work ethic are all undeniable. And that's kind of what happens when you exchange the keys to the journalism car for an upgrade in terms of money and, frankly, quality of life for entertainment, right? Like, he knows when he's going to work, and he can kind of pick and choose what he wants to do. And if he makes $20 million, good for him. Last I heard, it was around 10. Whatever it is, doesn't matter. To me, I think the giveaway here, aside from the fact that I think Jason Whitlock is now a bad faith actor, meaning he's saying things he doesn't believe, he's taking certain viewpoints, locking in a particular audience, and there's beef there, is it was so meandering. Like, oh, he lied about his college basketball career. Oh, well, he's actually not a journalist. But you could hear is like him stacking a case. But to me, the more you bounce around, you don't really know what you're upset about. And the interesting parallel to me is what happened to Stephen A. Smith is the same thing that happened to Jason Whitlock at the beginning. And then their paths split. And that they're at ESPN, they're making a big name for themselves.
That's it.
They both have to, they get fired or leave, go to Fox Sports. Stephen A. Smith rebounds. He rebounds so high that he is now the biggest voice with the largest megaphone in our business. And Jason Whitlock goes from Fox to Outkick to Blaze Media, which you only know if you're like me, reading up on Jason Whitlock today, or like anyone listening to that podcast, who gets introduced to Jason Whitlock again as being from Blaze Media. That has to factor in here. I cannot possibly believe that there's no jealousy there. He said it himself.
You hit
it.
They both had the same opportunities. They were both in the same place at the same time, starting from, tile number one. Stephen A. Smith figured it out. He's a better entertainer. Jason Whitlock, while he might be a better sports journalist, whatever that definition is, did not. He went in the opposite direction, and he's pissed off. That's what this is. He sees a guy who was able to figure it out, that was in the exact same spot that he was. These guys immensely successful, and Jason Whitlock is not.
It's the easiest and most rudimentary, not insult, but allegation to hurl at somebody, and we get it thrown at us all the time. If you speak ill of Tom Brady and his job as a Fox, a color analyst, or you're goofing on TB12 or anything, you're just jealous. And I've always said the same thing when it comes to certain people, especially Tom Brady in particular. Saying I'm jealous of Tom Brady is like saying I'm jealous of a mountain. He's a completely different existence from mine. Like literally incapable of being jealous of somebody who's just got a total different set of skills, talents,
reality
everything else
is different.
You can be critical of somebody without it being based in jealousy. There's no jealousy with when we talk about certain people. With Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith, of course he's jealous. Of course he is. He has taken his career. They started on these similar paths and turned it into this empire. Meanwhile, Jason Whitlock, you slowly see him losing his mind and talking about things that I don't even
see. The other part of it is he sees now what Stephen A. has done, and he's trying to do the same thing, only he's not doing it nearly as well. The wild crap that he says is looked at much differently than what Stephen A. is doing.
Well, and there's a difference between wild crap, where he's like doubting suffrage 3 years ago, questioning if Michelle Obama is transgender, and Stephen A. Smith having a hot take that's like Kevin Durant sucks at basketball.
Right.
Like, I understand the trolling elements here, but the stakes aren't that. There's also just an element of this where Jason Whitlock is an a-hole, and that comes from reporting done by Deadspin when it was Deadspin, and he's launching, what's now Anscape, and it was a new site. It was Grantland at ESPN, and they interviewed all these different people that he's working with. One example, pretty benign among all the things that you can go find in that article. In this vision he's laying out for the site, super talented writer, got a voice, all this different stuff. He's quoting people like Muhammad Ali and Martin Luther King Jr. And then at the bottom of the email, where these block quotes interrupt, this is what we're going to do next month, and this is how we're going to write this piece. He quotes himself.
No.
There's a level of self-absorption here that is just impossible to work around. It is the mountain that you referenced. And this mountain just gets taller and taller, and you go, this sucks. No one wants to work with him. And it's just plain as clear as day. The reporting is such, the way that you treat people, the things that you say, suggesting that not everybody needs a vote. Like, you just lose me at some very fundamental basic things, and it's how you treat people that you work with.
Right.
And things that should just be fundamental decency. Stephen A. Smith is at least wise enough to have his out-of-bounds things that he say really not be all that out of bounds.
Now, I like to think of it, in pretty clear-cut terms like that, too. Whitlock is, losing his mind and jealous. Stephen A., he's got the wisdom to have takes on matters that aren't going to rile people up too much. But then I question the wisdom when he decides to go back at Jason Whitlock this way.
Jason Whitlock is so addicted and fixated on me, and that he's trying to hide behind my quote-unquote bump my basketball career. I didn't have one. Cracked my kneecap in half. Couple of months after I got there, it was over before it began, damn it. Who cares? I'm 58 years old, in the business that you're in, and it's at the same time that you're in, smoking your ass. Smoking you. Excuse my language.
Why even respond? He's about
because it's more entertainment. He knows people will listen if he answers the right way, over the top authority without being too offensive. More people will tune into him. This is part of his genius.
All right, so he's smoking his ass,
or he just can't help himself.
You know what I mean? Ego factors into this, but you understand my point.
And he feels like if I swing the hammer hard enough, like it's going to stay down on him and it's not going to ricochet back at me. Like everyone will see clearly that I was the one swinging and not, the nail that was kind of bothering me. Like he's gone.
Well, is he going to go after?
Thinks he extinguishes.
Is he going to go after his credentials? Is he going to go after some of the things that he said and fact check him? What is he going to say about Jason Whitlock?
You can't with me, Jay. Not even a little bit. There's levels to this. And your ass is smaller than a cockroach compared to me. You're nothing. You are an expert troller. I'll give you that. But know this. All you're doing is getting a reaction out of me.
Yes. And maybe that's what he set out to do, Stephen.
to address how despicable you truly are. But in the end, understand that when your fat ass is sitting behind your desk,
here we go,
and you don't want to roll around it because you don't want everybody to see how rotund you are.
Oh boy.
No. Everything about my life is better than yours. You know what?
This is The Simpsons. Stop. He's already dead.
I only hope he ends this. This is the last time I will ever.
Oh, no. That closes off a possibility. No, he's not going to say that.
Rotund is underrated. Good use of rotund.
You know what I'm contemplating doing, Jason? I haven't made a decision yet. But I'm thinking about starting a GoFundMe account for you. Because clearly you're that desperate. That's why you talk about me so much. Look at your numbers when you're talking about me and look at your numbers when you don't. I keep you relevant. That's perhaps the worst insult of it all. Fat Bastard Lock. That's the title of the GoFundMe account. Fat Bastard Lock.
And thus endeth Stephen A's response to Jason Whitlock's latest attack on him.
Zip him up, ship him out.
How do you score that round? That's not 10-9.
That's 10-7.
I just want to point out it's kind of got buried in the first. Now, obviously, Stephen A. dismantled him, but like Whitlock going back and saying you got held back in third grade, that's savage. That is like next level savage. So we get some points for that, is all I'm saying.
I mean,
bricks into the Grand Canyon.
I feel like the further you go back, though, the less harmful it is. You know.
No. I liked your argument too, Andrew. That when you're jumping around so much and you're kind of doing this laundry list of unrelated insults, it kind of undermines your argument. But that one just stuck out to me. It's like, oh, that is unbelievably petty.
Well, if anything, that's real reporting, which may be the first Jason Whitlock's done in a long, long time.
And it may have the least amount of relevance to the audience, but to Stephen A., that might be the most hurtful. You start digging into childhood, it's like, oh. That's gonna tap into something deep, deep, deep down inside.
The big winner in all this is awful announcing. Just sit back with the popcorn. Got 7 blogs out of this. I've pulled up 3 just to make sure that I've got my facts right here.
Right.
And look, they make plenty of money off this. But look, I think the way that Whitlock has fallen speaks for itself. And when you are down that far, Stephen A., who again I don't watch, don't consume, but he's super talented. It's not to knock the guy. It's to say that he has to be the fly around the elephant's ear. Otherwise, we wouldn't talk about that fly.
Yes. Yeah.
That's it.
And if you're going to make, essentially, I not that he's making a career out of it, but he seems to be spending a healthy amount of time on it. It's only going to work as long as it gets acknowledged. And if he doesn't come up with anything truly groundbreaking or earth-shattering that people don't care about, and once Stephen A. Smith, takes him down like that and says, you're nothing, we're not even in the same business anymore, essentially. If he stops giving it life, then it's all done. Jason Whitlock trying to make some kind of cottage industry out of attacking Stephen A. Smith wholly depends on Stephen A. Smith responding to him. He stopped responding to him. He doesn't have anything.
Right.
Because who else is going to pay attention?
But at the best is Stephen A. Smith not only responded to him, he's like daring him to keep going. He's like, you want to keep going? Fine. I got plenty more insults lined up for you. That's great. And give me
Bastard Lock
more airtime.
You know what, though? With Stephen A. Smith has 67 podcasts and a Sirius XM show and a YouTube channel and First Take. Like, he's got enough megaphones. He can waste one on Jason Whitlock.
Yeah, just one of them.
Yeah.
You turned it into a Jason Whitlock-centric takedown.
Everything about my life is better than yours.
Ow. Okay. Oh,
man.
I will say, he did the extended version of the performative.
That was enough.
From Whitlock. Yeah. Stephen A. Smith is doing the same thing. So, like, the stylistic stuff we could put to the side.
I have one question for you, Andrew Callahan. Have you ever had an adversarial relationship similar to this? Perhaps in State College, Pennsylvania? But obviously, nothing's off the board like this. But
high stakes. Yeah.
Something where you work with someone who is just crazy against you for no reason?
Kide.
You know Doug failed algebra in 6th grade?
Yeah, he did. Big dummy.
Keed failed out?
Yeah.
Kied. Yeah, couldn't even pronounce his own name.
Yeah.
They brought him to the speech therapist every day in kindergarten.
Big moron.
There you go.
Boom!
How about that?
Yeah, Karen and I left on bad terms. No, I really, I don't know. Sometimes I think my life would have a little bit more spice to it if I just kind of picked a fight, but that's not my nature, and I don't want to do anything that's inauthentic. And so, no, I get along.
There's a phrase that's never been uttered before. Yeah, Karen Garigian and I hate each other.
Was on the phone with her last night, but that was the last call.
Oh, she's the worst. No, can't. That doesn't happen. All right, we got email, we got the stack, we got all coming up here on Toucher and Hardy.
More Toucher and Hardy next on the Sports Hub.
Put a stop to what's bugging you with Burgess Pest Management, the trusted pest control company for me, Mike Felger. I use Burgess.
idea for a bit. The email bit. We should do the email bit. It's a great idea. Let's do the email bit.
Yes, the emails. Hardy at 985thesportshub.com. John at 985thesportshub.com. Adam 12 at bbgi.com.
Corporate guy.
And Andrew Callahan at bostonherald.edu.
Nailed it.
A. Callahan?
A. Callahan, yeah.
A. Callahan at bostonherald.com.
.com.
All right. Very good.
Gov.
Ben. Gents, great show as always, but I have a complaint. First off, Jonathan, how dare you dump on the high-flying, intoxicating action that is the WNBA playoffs? Shame. Shame. We did the list of 12 sporting events or postseasons, and we had to cut 9 of them. We kept 3. We ended up keeping, in total agreement, we agreed to keep March Madness, the NFL playoffs, and the Masters. There was some pushback on one of them, but that's how we had to decide it.
I see.
We just ran out of time. And 12 was like pencils down.
Yeah, that's essentially what it was.
I was the proctor.
You each can choose one, and then we're out of it.
Majority doesn't mean anything now. Wallach and I are ready to punt the Masters off the bridge.
No, can't do it.
Get rid of it.
But Ben said, second, why was the Masters in discussion or even debatable? The majors in golf are the very measuring stick for those in the game who want to be forever great. I get the self-insisting nature of the broadcast and whatnot, but without the Masters and other majors, the PGA Tour is irrelevant. Also, majors aren't playoffs. It's the PGA, it's the FedEx Cup playoffs, which I would be more than happy to do away with. Thanks for defending golf, Hardy. Wallach and Callahan can suck. Oh, no, it says, just don't get it.
Oh.
I was paraphrasing at the end, but you're right.
John made the great point. You still have the U.S. Open. You got the Open Championship.
The Open Championship
and the Players Championship.
Just as hallowed, just as respected.
Yeah, and what's the one in Arizona? The garbage?
Yeah,
the Waste Management Open,
Yeah.
Scottsdale.
Everyone's loud, where you actually enjoy the sport as you're watching it.
You, by your own admission, don't make me
do this.
take off-air stuff on the air. You only watch one golf event a year, and it's the Masters.
I watch the garbage.
No, you don't. It's the weekend of the Super Bowl. You don't watch that.
Yeah, you have
You're
no
such
idea
a
when
Why
it's
do you
on.
sit there and lie?
No, I won't. I won't back you on this. We're together on the first thing, but not on this thing.
Maybe the Whitlock segment rubbed off on me. I don't know. Just being a jerk.
I'm sure you're watching final round of the Waste Management instead of working this year like you were for the Super Bowl.
Travelers
Championship is a big one.
It's a good one.
That's a
Cromwell.
marquee event. That's a signature event.
All right, I'll cop to it. I do like the Masters. I just think there's a clear-cut March Madness NFL playoffs. If you don't want to do the Olympics, fine. Stanley Cup playoffs for the 2 months and the nonstop, oh my God, edge of my seat versus 4 days of Jim Nantz speaking softly and going around the corner and saying amen and then, teeing off towards the end. Like, I inevitably find myself on the couch with a double IPA falling out of my hand. Now, especially that I'm a dad on Sunday. And then snap back and wake up and watch the rest of it.
What do you fall asleep during the Masters?
Yeah.
How's that possible?
It's the music. It's the music that puts us to sleep.
How dare you?
That's all it is.
Here's an email. Sarah and Everett.
Oh, good.
Sorry, Andrew. Huge fan and have fun ties to UConn. But I hope the Huskies lose Friday because McBone on the midday show is a fair weather fan. That ruins the roots of sports. And have you ever heard of the Sugar Shack in stores? I'm for real. Sugar Shack and stuff. Do you know
Sugar Shack. Oh, yeah, baby. So I grew up in stores. Dad was in school when I was like 3, 4, 5. After church, go get a giant chocolate chip cookie at this private, basically coffee shop, but they called it the Sugar Shack, and you got all your donuts and cookies and et cetera, et cetera. And this might have been the start of my career. Got the giant Sunday paper from the Hartford Courant pouring over then, all the only places you could find the standings and all the stats and what was going on. Mm-hmm. Absolutely loved it. Sugar Shack, great shout by Sarah. There was one thing, though, that she missed. Oh, UConn. Tim McCone is not a fair weather fan. He likes all of my UConn tweets, which is really appreciated.
Well, are any of them negative?
No.
Okay. Then he very well could be a fair weather fan.
The other day I did say, hey, only these 3 guys can shoot because of how miserable their first-round game was against Furman for a stretch.
Okay.
But that's...
By the way, the email segment, apologies to Jeff. The Toucher and Hardy email bit is powered by Jeffrey Glassman Injury Lawyers. If you've been hurt in a car or work accident, you got to get Glassman. Don't just send an email. Call all 617-777-7777 or visit gottagetglassman.com.
A lot of people upset at me for not understanding that Rajon Rondo is an elite flag football quarterback. I mistakenly said it was his son. Wallach, you dumb bird. It's Rondo Sr., not his father. All you had to do was check Google. It takes 5 seconds, you moron.
Yeah.
I actually said moron.
I know.
I didn't think that was used for a while.
I was actually holding back when I sent this.
I know. I got the same emails. Don't listen to the bird. Shut up, you stupid bird.
Yeah.
That's very
A
mean.
lot of people upset that I didn't realize Rondo was a flag football quarterback. My apologies to one and all for my misstep.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if the internet was lying to me, so I'm not far behind you there.
Yeah. I mean, who
If you want, Ally.
keeps track of Rajon Rondo playing flag football?
It's just that you were so quick to say it was his son when you didn't know differently.
Well,
and
what are
that's
the odds? I mean, I figured it's got to be his son.
You don't want to be called a dumb bird. Don't do dumb stuff like that, you dumb bird.
I see. Okay.
We were discussing midday show producer T-Bone earlier and how he was famously once called a man rocket by none other than Brad Marchand.
Yeah.
And we were discussing the origins of it. Thank you to, who is this who sent this in? Don, who found the man rocket term. Man rocket is slang for an attractive, confident, and stylish male, often used in hockey culture to describe a player with swagger. It is involved into a lifestyle brand selling apparel. But yes, being called a man rocket we knew it was a good thing, just didn't know quite what it meant, but it encompasses all those things. Style, swagger, confidence, T-Bone. Yeah, that's him.
Yeah, cosign.
The man rocket. Yeah. And if you don't, he will hurt you. So you better cosign.
I don't know. Passed him on my way to the bathroom during the break, and we had a very nice, hi, how are you? Things are going good. Yeah, good to see you.
Oh, this morning you did?
I think we're on great terms.
That's good.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't want to be on the other side.
You don't want to be on his bad side.
Yeah, there's a dark side to him that you don't see very much. Well, I didn't see very much. Works different shifts, but no, I'm told it's not a fun place to be.
Do you have any emails, John?
No, I've exhausted my emails.
Great job
today. Thank you.
I have another one.
I can make up a few if you like.
No, I have more. I just
right,
want to give you a
go
chance.
to.
Andrew, you good?
The only one I am scouring my Twitter mentions now that I had was from 9 days ago, and I shared with you off the air, which was just mentioning, nice to hear you on 98.5. This person was complimentary of you.
Yeah.
Not so much to Fred. And that's really the extent of it.
Oh, I just got another one. It's the real Rondo, not his kid, stupid. There you go. Thank you.
Keep them coming.
Thanks,
John,
John.
Jon at
He doesn't get it yet,
985thesportshub.com. So Fred has talked, and we've talked about this too, anyone filming themselves or being filmed watching a game and reacting poorly to the end of a game, smashing their TV, losing their mind when their team loses, and how it's a false narrative because you either are filming yourself or you know you're being filmed and you behave differently. This emailer, Giuliano, I think I'm pronouncing your name right, says, running a few days late, sorry, but catching up on the podcast, you're so right about the uselessness of reaction videos. There is a related, well-described phenomenon called the Hawthorne effect. In fact, I'm dealing with this issue in one of my studies right now. We need to be very careful because study subjects are always modifying their behavior when they know they are observed. It was first discovered in the 1920s when in a factory they studied the productivity of workers due to changing illumination. They observed increase in productivity, which turned out to be only a function of workers knowing they were being watched. Had nothing to do with actually being able to see the work. They're like, the lights are on. They can see us now. Now we have to change our behavior. So this is something that we tapped into and talked about, but it is an actual effect, the Hawthorne effect. So there you go. So we stumbled onto something smart. We didn't even know what we were doing. Blind Scott called in earlier on the show. He mentioned something about bipolar. Not Gary Tanguy said, blind polar Scott? This sounds like the most terrifying evolution ever. He can't see, but he can turn you to ice. Sounds like a pretty good book idea. Yeah. Blind polar Scott. I'm not going to do it. We'll wait for Fred to get back on Thursday, and he can go.
It's awesome.
Yeah, he can have his own thing there. Also, Jonathan weighing in on something that happened earlier in the show this week. Catching the stream today, and I had to laugh at the difference between your fun, Hardy, and 12's idea of fun. Hardy, fun for me is 30 minutes of round-trip driving for 4 hours of fun playing golf. 12, fun for me is 4 hours of round-trip driving for 30 minutes of fun skiing. John in New Hampshire, living in New Hampshire and still won't drive all the way to the White Mountains to ski.
That's very funny.
I don't blame you.
Smart man.
And I didn't even bring it up in the whole ski. Are you a skier, Andrew?
No.
Snowboard or anything?
No.
Sledding, tubing?
Will you ever
tobogganing?
I was as a kid.
Yeah, that's what I was
skiing,
getting to.
And then left it at like 10 or 11. If my daughter wants to go, though, that is one thing. We're going back to the top.
Yeah. And I didn't even bring it up more than just a passing mention, but the number one, can we just not overlook the obvious? It's cold. It's real cold.
Yeah.
You will get cold.
Not anymore with all the gear you can get.
Yes, you will still get cold in your ski boots or your snowboard boots. Yes, your fingertips, even if you're wearing
cold. It's a bracing cold.
No, tips
It's invigorating.
Base of the mountain's 10 degrees. How much is it at the top without the
Depends on
wind?
how windy it is.
Well,
to the
what
bunny
I'm
slopes.
saying is
Just
the wind
then you're
chill.
there.
The wind chill is 20 below when you get off the ski lift. Why is that fun?
Well, you could Callahan being a Connecticut guy. You just stick to Ski Sundown or Mohawk Mountain, one of those that's 10 feet high.
That was
Not
my
too cold
problem
up there.
as a kid was, get to like level 3 or 4 or whatever, taking lessons. And that was typically around here, maybe in Connecticut. And then my dad would have a work trip in Maine. And
now you're on the
much
big
bigger
mountains,
mountain. I'm like, I'm level 3. They're like, all right, here we go to the greens. We go, what?
Yeah, green up there is a blue, down in Connecticut.
Right, yeah.
So,
Now it's a diamond shape. How good, because I think I've done this before on Twitter, but I revisit my rankings of like the best beers, meaning your shower beer, an airport beer, a Friday right after work beer, the post-skiing lodge beer.
So I hosted après ski parties in the White Mountains for the better part of a decade, and they were our sponsor, Coors Light. So there was nothing that tasted better than that first ice-cold Coors Light after skiing, right as we were starting the après ski party. That is a top-tier beer.
That might get me back into skiing.
There you go.
I don't have to wait till my daughter's
The fact that you brought up shower beer, though, makes me think that you have an affinity to the shower beer, which is the sign of a burgeoning alcoholic. Go ahead.
It's still top 10 because I think it's more the association. Like, you're not having a shower beer on a Tuesday before you go to bed. It's like, oh, you're going out or you have a date or, you're
How much time do you spend in the shower? I'm in there for 2.5 minutes.
No, you're missing this. It's the scarcity. It's the rarity of the shower beer, which has gone down my rankings, but I think everyone would agree is still a nice beer.
See, I'm shower beer after I've been working, like a Saturday afternoon. I was out in the yard doing this and that. Now I'm going to go take a nice long hot shower. That's the shower beer for me.
You guys spend way too much time in the shower.
It's a delightful place. You should check it out.
Rather be told that than not enough time in the shower.
That's true. All right. The stack will be next. Here are the headlines with Wallach.
It's never changed. It's never changed. It's the same thing over and over and over and over. It's just never good. It wasn't funny the first time.
Toucher and Hardy, mornings on the Sports Hub.
We know what you're thinking. What could I possibly have missed from the show? It's time for The Stack on Toucher and Hardy.
It is, in fact, The Stack here on Toucher and Hardy, with Fred out again today and tomorrow. Thursday he'll be back. Andrew, you're just with us the one day this week, huh?
That's what I've been told.
All right. It's fine.
Might be back draft week. We'll see.
Let's hope so.
How many mock drafts have you done so far?
None. Doug takes care of those for us. I do one first-round mock right before the draft, but he'll do the 7-round Patriots ones, with every pick that they have. And this year, a little much because they've got an extra 4th-rounder, 3 extra 6th-round picks.
Yeah, Barth went nuts yesterday. I don't know if you saw Alex Barth had his first or second 7-round mock draft. I don't know how you do that. I suppose I think there was a Clemson right tackle that came to the Patriots at 31.
Blake Miller.
Yeah.
That man mocks like nobody else mocks. I actually just texted him saying, hey, do you want a podcast tomorrow? And do some pod stuff, which we do a draft on my show every year with him. But you'll never believe this. We have a wager at stake, Hardy.
Oh, look at you two. That's fun.
And it's most
only
hey,
one
kids,
one
we're
better
bet
show.
And see who gets the most first-round picks right.
That's exactly it.
That's terrible.
No, it's the most probable Patriots draft picks. So you take turns. Of course, he took Will Campbell last year. I think that was one of 2 or 3 that we got. But yeah, it's fun. So we'll see. But no, a little bit more mocking going on and a lot of good players. And then I will remind the good people, there's a chance they do trade back here. So we might be staying up. But at least this year, the waiting time per pick is not 10 minutes, it's 8.
Oh, good.
So as we all wait again till what will be 10:30, 10:45, maybe 11, it won't be midnight.
Do they start at 8 or 7?
It's 8, but
it's a big difference, by the way.
It's always like 8:09, or something. So,
yeah.
There is a new docu-series coming out. I think it's The Price is Right documentary. It's just a documentary. On-set affairs, sexual harassment, and more. Now, this is, of course, during the Bob Barker era.
Mm-hmm.
None of this would happen under Drew Carey, I'm sure. But it begins with a Price is Right model by the name of Holly Hallstrom.
Oh, I remember her.
I remember Holly, too.
I remember Holly very well.
Claims she was pressured to undergo cosmetic surgery to keep her job.
Mm-hmm.
Part 1 of the documentary. She said producers wanted them in bathing suits every opportunity they got. They would call us every week, say, we'd like you to do this, we'd like you to do that. She took some time off, and the producer pulled her aside and said, I would advise you to use your hiatus wisely. She said the implication was clear. I had to get breast implants, and I had to pay for it myself. They could do that back then, and there was nothing you could say. There did seem to be a lot of gratuitous bathing suits on the old Price is Right, but nobody seemed to mind at the time. She also alleged that in 1988, Bob Barker took over as executive producer, and he controlled with an absolutely ruthless iron fist. She said if anything went wrong, Bob Barker would lash out. If he didn't have a prop that he was supposed to have, or if there was stop downs during taping, if it made him angry, he would shred someone, a cameraman, a cable puller, anyone, venting his rage without ever considering how humiliating this was to whoever he was shredding, and he didn't care. It's just reminded of something here.
So Bob Barker would get mad and yell. Bob would scream. Bob would lash out. Bob would, it's another yell, scream. Would he ever bark at his employees, Hardy?
Oh, you see, I didn't know what you were doing. Things allegedly escalated, stuck in a way with the crew. Former stage manager Robert Butt recalled a frightening moment backstage when a camera operator suddenly swung his equipment while filming was underway. The camera hit model Janice Pennington. Do you remember Janice?
Yes, I do.
There's a ledge and about a 3-foot drop to the concrete floor, and he hit Janice, and she went over. People started screaming. What happened next? Barker allegedly insisted the show continue and filming picked back up quickly. That episode revealed the attitude behind the scenes, which is you're kind of on your own. You get hit by a camera, we don't have your back.
That's not right. Come on.
It's just the idea of someone yelling that much at Nick.
In our room.
No, when he's trying to... Where's Fred yelling at Nick?
No, Nick! Nick!
I know!
Nick! I can still see her! Nick!
The hell?
That was just as good.
I'm crazy.
Thank you. All right, Andrew.
No, Nick!
Thank you.
I'd like to think I was close.
Actually, was pretty spot on.
Thank you.
Him yelling at George was pretty good, too.
Nick!
Yeah, do we have George? You have a George button over there?
I need a George.
Or
Bailey.
one more Jillian Edelman.
No, we're fine. We're out of time.
Andrew, good to see you.
Thanks, Andrew.
Great to be here. Love hanging out.
George, that's right. Run.
You should have been there for that one.
George! George!
It's the Bob Barker. Mornings.
It had been a while since I'd seen
Sports Hub.
Fred lose his crap like that. That was
good.
something.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks again, Andrew. Mike.